into the silent night, an endless fall, like cuts from 1,000 knives. I hear call, but I'm still stumbling in the dark, a silent howl as I dissolve into your arms. I waited now, seduced by a sweet mirage. We could live or we could stay, sedated, stayed wide awake. I can't do this anymore, it's hurting like it never has before. We could live or we could stay, sedated, stayed wide awake. was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted.
G'day everybody and welcome to round 3 of the Motorsport Australia Simagic GT3 Cup. It's still the knockout phase. Tonight we're off to Kyalami for a sprint round, which is one 60-minute race, both for Group A and for Group B. But tonight, joining me in the commentary booth, the one and only Ultimate Sacrifice, it is Justin Tate. G'day Justin.
Howdy Neil. Howdy everyone.
Tonight I have a new microphone. It's probably really loud. I'm sorry. It's better than not hearing me at all. Or is it? Not sure. Alexis Bowen joining us as well. How are you, my good man, friend?
I am doing very well. It is great to be in the commentary booth for what is a brilliant series here for the Motorsport Australia Simagic GT3 Cup, and again around such a beautiful track at Kyalami. I am so excited for this.
Big thanks for jumping in, Alexis. I know that you are in on late notice, but we appreciate it very much.
No, it's my pleasure to be here as always for a bit of commentary. Different night, but who knows? It could become more of a staple in the future. Who knows?
Oh, who knows? Wish we could see you out there, though.
Yes, no, it would have been nice to have participated in this, but unfortunately I've got some other priorities with finishing up high school soon, so got to make sure I got as much focus as I can on that, unfortunately. But
Who needs school when you're a pro driver, hey?
yeah, no, that's it. No, it'll definitely be something I look at in future years.
What, school or sim racing?
Definitely more the sim racing, I reckon.
You've got that pretty down pat, I think.
Yeah. No, just got to get through the rest of this year, and then from there it should all be fairly smooth sailing from there.
Well, good luck. No doubt you're absolutely smashing it.
Thank you, thank you. As it looks like Ashwin Rails has done the first lap of the session with a 41.9.
That's right, and we have been having the tightest qualifying I've seen in Octane Online Racing history that I've seen anyway. The groups, both groups have been having within 6 to 5 tenths for the whole top 10, and if you're a second off the pace, you're well outside the top 10 in both groups. So I'm really looking forward to see how tight the field is here as we're starting to get a big roll in of times. Everyone just sort of setting the first paces. It always takes a lap or two to get a super fast lap in. What do you think about this track here, Alexis?
Oh, I love it. It is one of my favorites, that's for sure. It is super fast. It is a bit more of a simple track layout, but there are definitely parts of the track where you have to be very careful, because one false move can ruin your entire lap. So you got to be on your toes.
That's correct, and I'm not seeing all the fastest names out there. Oh, there's a couple, a little bit slower lap by Pip there, but I'm sure she'll pick up the pace. She's been qualifying very fast every single race we've had. We've had 3 races. We did a double race last weekend, 2 sprints, and they were a lot of fun, very exciting. I believe we did pit stops and 30-minute races, if that's right, Neil, wasn't it? And it was like 2 back-to-back sprint,
Yep,
very
correct.
short sprint races. Yeah, it was flat out driving like you're qualifying the whole time. It was very cool.
That is very pasty there from Philippa Bakita, going fastest there as we have Dylan Tan now go faster. That is super fast, into the 39s if you don't mind.
Wow. Yeah, that is very fast. It's unbelievable. These international drivers, man, they're quick. Yeah, so the grey markers are drivers that are internationals, non-Aussies. They're racing in a series by themselves. But because this is the Australian Motorsport Championship, the only Australian drivers qualify for that, but we're running an international one because we are global here at Octane Online Racing. We absolutely love having them in the field, and man, they have been really quick in both classes. We're with 2 or 3 internationals in the top 10 in both Group A and Group B, and right now we're watching Group A on board with Yellow in the Porsche. Malik absolutely loves this livery. so it gets a lot of airtime. The trick is, guys, if you want airtime, just make a really cool looking livery, and you'll be shown for hours on stream.
Yeah, no, the laundry house livery on Gallo's car is sublime, and it is great to see him out there.
What's your go-to colour for a car livery, Justin? Is it purple?
Yeah, I'm the purple and black, a darker purple with some black. That's generally what I go with, but I'm absolutely and completely unskilled and untalented in the design area, so I tend to just like drag the color wheel around till I find a color that looks okay in the purplish thing, and then let it go. Usually, sometimes I'll do something like let chat decide or something like that when I'm streaming, or but that it is dangerous. Yes, there's only so many phallic objects you can fit shaped on your car, so depends on the game and that sort of thing. But it's always a bit of fun.
Alexis, what about you? I'm going to guess light. Was it light blue for a while there? A bit of pink.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a mix between like a pink and like either a light blue or a mint teal sort of color.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
So.
I love that combination.
Can you guess mine? What my main colour is?
Probably orange. It's orange,
it's
isn't
orange.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Has
McLaren
to be
orange.
orange.
Yeah. What do they call it?
Papaya.
Papaya. Yes. Yeah. Ah, and this is a
Underrated
bit of
colour.
orange. This
But
one's got a little bit of orange in it, and it's blue on one side, orange on the other. It's just giving me. Now this might go
very
straight over
nice.
most people's heads, but that's giving me like Portal vibes. The game Portal.
Oh yes, definitely can see that.
Yeah, because you got the blue portal and the orange portal, and that's my brain's just seeing that immediately. So I wonder if that's inspired from there, because that's one of the only games I can think of that has that almost exactly those colors too. So
Yeah, it is very similar to what you see from the blue and orange portal in the Portal games. As Dylan Tan goes even faster with a 39.7, that is even faster. Although, seems that Ethan Kale in chat saying he did a 39.39 in first practice.
what? That is ridiculous.
Ethan,
That is-
Dylan did.
Yeah,
What a rocket.
that is 0.015 off the world record.
That is stupidly fast. Obviously done a lot of laps here and has that card absolutely dialed in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Reynolds improves his time, and we're starting to watch a few people come around for their next couple of laps. Some people quickly diving in the pits too, trying to get one or two more runs in. It is good being on a slightly shorter. Oh, it's not that short, is it? Actually, never mind. I was going to say a shorter track, but it's really not that short. Probably mid range for length here.
Yeah,
Not
I'd probably say it's like small to medium sized track. Like you get some far smaller tracks like Brands Hatch, Zolder, Zandvoort, and you sort of get to your mid-range tracks, so like your Laguna Seca, your Kyalami sort of deal, and then you have your really long tracks like Bathurst, Silverstone, Spa.
Yeah, and those 2-minute plus ones really. There's just so much opportunity to make a mistake, when you're doing 15 plus corners on a track, and there's just so much running time. It's really pays to be consistent and you can tell who's put in their practice and who hasn't, that sort of thing. Again, we've still got less than a second in the top 10 actually, which I was mentioning earlier, just how close they've been qualifying, especially with 10 out the front there setting that absolutely ridiculous times. That's amazing that these guys and girls are all still that close.
Even then, looking between P5 and P10, you've just got just over 0.2 of a second.
Yeah.
There, like Dylan Tan out front is 0.3 clear of Philippa Bakita. So the fact that it's still a second separating that top 10 is mighty insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Pip and Cooley are both we have been extremely fast in qualifying. Like this is obviously a track that suits the Aston a bit, because we haven't seen Astons be that popular with series. So it's good to see an Aston in the mix. I've strong feelings for the Aston, because when I got introduced to this game by Malik, he said, "Jump in the Aston, you'll love it." and I did enjoy it.
You know, the Aston is certainly not as favoured of a car as it used to be. Certainly not as strong as it used to be in comparison to some of the newer cars like your Mercedes, your BMWs, Ferraris, that sort of deal. But behind the right driver, you can still get a lot of pace out of it. I mean, another car that's like not very favoured is like your Nissan, but can still show some very good pace behind a driver such as Burrs here, who is currently sitting P12, doing very nicely in that Pikachu livery.
Yeah, he's always in this thing. He's got the 420 Nissan zoom in,
Yep,
nicely color schemed up.
no matter where it is classed in your, God forbid I say it, your BOP rating, Burrs will be in the Nissan no matter what, because he is just drawn to this thing.
Yeah, and he's he drives really well and very consistently. He's always poking his head in the top 10 and very consistent from what I've seen. I've seen very few mistakes out of him, and it's fun to watch him go around. And it's got a cool sounding engine, and it's just a unique little car. I mean, there's a lot of people in chat that would probably enjoy owning one of these in real life. So yeah, it's fun to see almost all the cars represented.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
I'm as
I am
close as
raising
I
my
reckon I'll
hand
get.
right now.
No worries, Malik. Don't worry. It's going to take off, and there's going to be millions of users online, and you'll be able to buy all the sports cars you want. And we'll start a real life OOR.
Yes.
There might be replica ones.
The Nissan is a wonderful car. I mean, I've driven it before in this game when it was slightly better than what it is now, and even like then I was finding a lot of enjoyment. It's quite tricky. It's even tricky now, so I don't know how Burrs is extracting so much pace out of it. As Makita is up on her previous best time and is looking to chase after Dylan Tan.
But can she find all that she needs? This is she's right there. See how good our last sector is. Oh, that's wide. That is so wide using the grass as well. This is going to be very tight. She gains
What a
even more
lap.
time just rolling it. Come on, she's using absolutely
world record?
all of the track. This is going to be no, but the track's not quite fast enough, I don't think. But wow, is that P1?
Nah.
That is
Definitely
brilliant
P1.
lap from Phil Makita.
Only by a couple hundredths though. It's not much, but she did it.
I'd take
She-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
exactly.
Given the pace that Tan has managed to show throughout his past week of racing around Kyalami, like getting as close to a world record as he did earlier in the week, like the fact that Makita's managed to topple him for the moment is quite crazy and quite insane, really. Like the pace of some of these drivers is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'm going to call this. This is a blowout for this group. These two are. It's never been this big a gap at the top, but that is like they're 4/10 down the road from everyone else, but everyone else is super close. So like that's
What's
just
interesting is
amazing.
the top three at the moment. Both of them all of them haven't got a win yet. So the first two rounds, Mitch Hobbs, Bruno Gallo, Jamie Kosa were the top three. And in Hungary, it was Kosa, Bakita, Hobbs. So, and obviously Tan missed round two. So I reckon both of those two will want to get a win in the knockout phase just to secure a spot, which you can pretty much say they have. But it's been, so even across the field. And Mitch Hobbs is, he's showing great pace. He's picked up a win and a third. So it's very
that's
tight.
right.
I believe he's
Yeah.
picked up 2 wins possibly this
Oh, yeah, I
race.
forget about the second race. See, it's Hobbs, Hobbs, Bakita, and Rashmat, who Rashmat's unavailable tonight. We do see Shady Samuel. Is Ramez out there as well? He might be out of the group. He's making his debut. He's back from overseas. A couple of others are out, but it is the knockout phase, so things will heat up in a few weeks' time when the finals start. It's going to be absolutely hectic.
Oh, absolutely.
I've only just realised the tunes are still going.
That's all good. Just some Sunday afternoon driving for the guys and girls out there. last couple of people finishing their times now coming across the line, and we've got the reset. So here we go. Alrighty, my screen is going completely pixelated. Can you take us through it, Malik? To the grid.
Well, Bakita has picked up pole. She's on the front row alongside Dylan Tan with Chris Cooley. That's got to be his best qualifying effort so far in the Simagic GT3 Cup. He's in P3 in his beloved Aston. Then we've got a mixture of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Porsches. So Hobbs, Kosa, Ty, Hind, Gallo, Steele, and Ricker. They're your top 10. On Wednesday night, we did see Jack Steele pick up a win in the Sprint Series. Same with Connor Hines. I'm not quite sure about Thursday night's results because I was away, but it's a very hot and heavy top 10. And when Lucas Burrs is P13, you know it's a fast grid. And Reynolds actually P19.
Yeah, no, they are far lower down than what you'd expect to see them in the Sprint Series. But again, that's what you'd sort of expect from the GT3 Cup. It is the best of the best participating. Yes, we are in the knockout rounds, but there's still a bucket load of pace in this field.
Who are you taking for the win tonight?
I want to see Pip win. I think Pip deserves win. She's been a bit unfortunate with her jump start at Silverstone. That was exciting, and then as she tried to readdress it, someone punted her, and she ended up the track, and it just went from bad to worse for her. So yeah,
jump starters are on the front row here.
Yeah, exactly. They took off like way before Alexis. If you didn't see that, it was hilarious. Like it was like they went 5 seconds before everyone else.
Oh dear.
It was they were 25 meters ahead by the first quarter.
Oh, yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for Bakita because natural reactions and just your instinct, the car ahead goes, you're off you go as well. But it happens to the best of them, that's for sure. It happened to Tan and Bakita. It can happen to anybody.
Absolutely, but yeah, no, definitely agree. Bakita deserves a victory. I mean, I'd say could probably pick anyone in that top 5 range for a likely chance of the win, but I think I'm gonna go with Cooley in the Aston.
Ooh, I like that pick. This is the furthest up we've had Cooley the whole time, I believe. They've been floating around, but not been right at the pointy end like this. And again, got a couple of really fast people around them. I got a feeling it's definitely one of the front row, unless they come together, because it's motorsport. So maybe these two will get caught in a bit of a battle and slow each other down, or maybe they'll just drive away into the sunset for the first couple of laps.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, anything could happen. We have 60 minutes coming up. Like, yeah, it could all kick off. It could be quite a tame race as well, but we'll just have to wait and see. We are on the formation lap now, though.
Can I ask Mr. Malik, what is the format tonight? Is it
60 minutes? 60-minute race, 60 minutes? One mandatory stop tonight for tyres. A pit window of 50 minutes. So, by the looks of the sky, we are in for a dry race. I don't see it changing based on that. But the Sprint Series definitely had a little bit of rain during the week. Next week we're off to Nürburgring, and it'll be like a twilight race. Sprint Series, if anyone actually competes in Sprint Series is watching, they've got a bit of interesting weather conditions set for the server. It's the first time I've actually set the race to rain, definitely. So that'll be fun to watch, I reckon. But we still don't know what the GT3 Cup will be. They may get 2 stops in Nürburgring. Wait and see.
Oh, Malik, so what's the thoughts on running maybe a 5-race Rain Masters series or something like that, where it's just wet, not ridiculously wet. You just set it to, medium rain or whatever, and it's just wet. It's going to be wet. You need wets. And what's your thoughts on?
Are you related to David McNulty? Right. So David's been wanting that series since he was born, pretty much, and I kept denying him because I reckon about 6 people will turn up for the whole race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something we can do for a bit of fun on a Monday
Well, we-
night, or we can do it on a weekend. It's just finding time to get us another series in.
You're saying we could just play Wreckfest instead of something like that?
Oh, now you've got me. But
Yeah.
it kind of would be Wreckfest.
Yeah.
I would love some Wreckfest. I regularly get that together, happening at my lands.
Well, hopefully
All
tonight
right.
we don't see that in turn one, because Kyalami is very interesting here early on. I'm very, very tempted to not actually call the start, because I've had some classic commentary comments. But
Yes.
I'm going to have a crack, and I reckon
You
tonight
are?
we're going to be up for an absolute treat here. So,
Oh dear.
Simagic GT3 Cup Round 3, we're at Kyalami. This is race 1 in Group A. And we await green lights, and we await great even start there from Bakita and Tan. Cooley is right there with him as well as Mitch Hobbs. This is very, very balanced. No one seemed to have got a jump. You can see Gallo on the outside there in that glorious looking Porsche as they go 2 by 2. There's a little bit of a compression at the back there, but they've managed to sort themselves out. Hobbs is looking around the outside, gets a bit of a wobble. Cooley says no, and they just slot in as they were. Great start to begin with as we head down to Sunset. Who's that BMW? That is Ricker. I think he's got a decent start behind Hind. But no yellow flags is what we like to see here at Kyalami. It is very, very rare. We've got Kosa. He is ahead of Hind. So the usual suspects in Group A started off this race very nicely. Bakita leads the way from Tan. Nothing else of note, which is great. As we head to, I think it's pronounced Le Cop. One of the
Yeah, Le
sneakers
Cop.
will absolutely murder me for that. And this track's got the best corner names by far as we go down to Mineshaft and towards the Crocodiles. I love this section of the track. A great overtaking opportunity because it's just so wide here, and you can take so many different lines through the Crocodile. As we go on board with Hobbsy. Heading towards Cheetah, the most dangerous corner at this track. If you get it wrong, you will know about it. And everyone just sort of slips through. You see a bit of a wobble in the background. Gallo makes a dart up the inside there, but a little bit too deep. And looks like Stephen Ty holds on. And first lap, no yellow flags. Thanks for coming. I didn't curse anyone.
That
Well
has
done, mate.
probably got to be the cleanest start you have ever commentated over in your
Thank
entire
you, Group
career.
A. I have redeemed myself. But
That is-
you're up here for lap 2, so good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Malik. That was a very good intro to the start of this race. I'm excited to see how it's panning out. We do have a bit of action happening here for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th and 9th. It's a very tight pack. It's all the way down to about 16th or so, all well within a few tenths of each other each position. We've seen a couple of dips of wheels into grass, but that is to be expected on cold tyres, and especially as people jostle for positions trying to make the most of the compressed field at the start of the race. How important is it to push super hard at the start of a race, Alex?
Oh, it is. You gotta really get your elbows out, probably your first, second lap, just while the tyres are cold, just take advantage of that. And then once you start to get into that room, you gotta just hold behind the other car, because you do have the pit window that you can take advantage of. You can play around with your pit strategy a little bit. So you can try for an undercut. If you feel you have the pace, you could go for an overcut. But no, once you get past those first few laps, you definitely need to start settling into your room, settling into your groove. I mean, if opportunity for an overtake presents itself, go for it. But you don't really want to be going for these late dives, especially early on.
Would you rate this as a easy or a hard track to pass on? How likely is it that you can sneak up alongside someone here?
I'd say it's on the easier side if someone makes a mistake. There's just so many areas you can go side by side safely. In a field like this, as you can see already, they're just compressed up from, look at that, from P4 down to the end of time. It's all within a second.
Yeah, no, it is.
Or
You
till
definitely,
P19.
you're definitely looking more at trying to get the driver in front to make a mistake. to get the overtake done rather than get your elbows out and make a move on track.
I've even seen a move
Purely.
through the S's here on Wednesday night. You obviously need both drivers to be obligating to the other. Connor Hines just struggling a little bit there in that Ferrari. He's just off the boil at the moment. But here's a great overtaking opportunity. Obviously, I mentioned before, the Crocodiles are fantastic. Turn 2, not the kink. Turn 2 is another great... But yeah, everywhere's a chance, probably except Cheetah. But
Yeah,
they
no.
might prove me wrong tonight.
Yeah, if you're trying to go for a move at Cheetah, you might as well just pull it into the pits and retire.
Yeah, it's.
I'll try it though.
No, please, no.
I believe I did one in my race there, but the person had dumped it off the end of the Crocodile. They'd gone a bit deep and gone all four wheels in the grass, so I was fully alongside the person by the time we were even getting close to Cheetah.
Well, there's a
Just
chance
got us-
now for,
yeah.
looks like Shady Samuel making his GT3 Cup debut tonight. He's alongside Rico, who's having a great start to this race. Oh, he's done that very nicely. They've both done that very nicely. They still tuck in and defend from Jack Steele, who's no slouch, because Ben Hignett says thanks for coming. And just when you get that person go past, there's bloody Lucas Burrs behind you.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Burrs in that Nissan will be looking to fly. Steele gets back up the inside of Hignett now, going into Sunset, and they're still side by side. Hignett holding it around the outside, going into Clubhouse. He should be able to consolidate the position now, and he does. That is great racing between those two.
Excellent driving there.
Yeah, that's class racing right there. That's what we like to see from the Simagic GT3 Cup guys. This is absolutely awesome racing. Very, very clean. Great show so far by the whole field.
Absolutely, and Steele won't be letting this go very easily. I think there may have been a little bit of contact between the two of them at the Juxgay sweep, but it will be play on between those two, and Steele will have to try again, but he's got to keep an eye on Burrs behind. He did have to defend from Burrs during the Sprint Series split yellow race. I mean, that Nissan has brilliant straight line speed, but he's got to be careful of Taufik behind.
Yeah, Taufik looking really fast under brakes, closing right up onto the back of the Nissan in front. See if he can hang on down the straight, although the Nissan just puts the power down out of there, and just see you later. Carrying a good couple of k's an hour off that corner there.
Let's do a
All the
speed
way
check.
down the racetrack.
240, 242, 42, 43. Oh, Jack has another look at the inside there of Benjamin Hignett. These two are very familiar. Both their teammates at MRT. Both have raced against each other quite a few times now. I believe Jack does a little bit of racing IRL, so he's no slouch.
I was going to say they want to make sure they don't hold each other up too much, though, especially if they are teammates, because every time you go for a bit of a move or a half look, that tends to drop you off the cars in front. They were right up the clacker of them before, but now they're a bit further back, as we've got another little battle here. Big dive down the inside from Pat Oliver. Almost getting the move done, but ends up having to back out of it.
Yeah,
try.
Pat Oliver's having a bit of a refreshing race because he was unfortunate in his race on the Wednesday. He was a bit late, a bit deep. Oh, that's Jack Steele.
Yeah, Steele's
Yes.
come off at the S's.
I'd say that's just a bit of a moment.
We shall
Hopefully we can
We are
catch a
checking.
little replay. Yes, we are checking.
We are looking, we are checking. Meanwhile,
What's
out front,
Yeah.
Dylan Tan is piling the pressure on Philippa Bakita. He has the fastest lap, but Bakita holds the race lead at the moment. These two are going to be fighting hammer and tong this race.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking would happen. They'd either battle super hard or they'd just sit nose to tail and drive away from the field, which is exactly what's happened. But this is putting some really fast times in. Low 40s at the moment, or mid 40s at the moment, as we're only 9 minutes into the first stint. So here we go. Here's the replay. Just tipping it in. Seems okay. Oh, a bit too much curb and a big wobble. Good save. Kept it straight. Got off the gas and didn't end his race. Yeah, exactly. Just didn't end his race. I've made a mistake here, straightened it up and went off the track. That's was a smart play and then came on safely as well. Hats off to him for keeping it just really, probably just a little bit of brain fade when you're right behind someone. Sometimes you just turn a little bit too early, and it's because you don't get all your visuals like you normally do when you're driving around by yourself. Just caught a bit too much curb on the inside here, and that's something that this track has. There's a number of curbs that can just absolutely, sorry for the lack of a good terminology, but just yeet you off the track. This one here, which we're seeing,
Yes.
that they like to yeet you here. That is true, and especially depending on your setup.
That word yeet, I never said that word before OOR. And then there was a guy called Berg, Aaron Heather, in our F1 series, who used to save it over voice comms every single race. And now it's one of my regular words in my vocab, so I'm not sure if I'm upset or happy, but thanks, Berg.
Berg with his whole 20 minutes of practice.
He's a naturally fast man.
Oh, absolutely. It was a joy to race against.
For the OGs, that was Surprisenberg.
Surprising.
That was his name, yeah.
I
No,
like that.
fantastic chap.
Very good, and the battles just don't stop here. We've got so many cars nose to tail, and again some very, very clean driving from the whole field. Haven't seen anything from the stewards needing to be investigated yet, which has been amazing by the field. Good,
Yeah, some
clean first 10 minutes.
I reckon the stewards are going to be unsure what to do with their hands at the moment. Normally they're sculling shots of alcohol and putting in penalties. But GT3 Cup driving standards is sensational. They've been sensational, even in the last Pro Series we did. A shout out and credit to the sim racers out there. Lots of respect out on track. Apparently Connor's quite sick tonight.
Oh,
Yes, he does seem to be quite sick. It's honestly a marvel that he's out there and fighting up close in P7 and right on the back now of Bruno Gallo. If he gets a good run through Mineshaft, he might be able to get a slingshot into Crocodiles. No, Gallo is smart enough and defends the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's loose on the exit. You know, you're not getting the move done there, cheater. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please don't.
Oh, but Gallo seems to be going quite deep through some of these corners. So
Yeah, I'd say Gallo's just actually taking a bit more of a risk. That's really what it looks like there, just going right to the edge of the track limits. There through Cheetah, that was extremely, extremely wide. That was where we saw Pip go on her qualifying lap, right out there with the pretty much touching the grass as they exit the corner there. Yeah, great lines by everyone through turn one, and as we drop a little bit further down the field, check it out. Yeah, still battles going.
I think Jeff Beaton either started from pit lane or joined late, was at the back of the grid because it was only 22 in qualifying. So he's just snuck in there. Welcome back from work, Jeff.
Yeah.
always nice to have a little bit extra.
It's quite warm out on track. I don't believe I've seen temps that high for a little while. A little bit of a breeze. Oh, very tight here though. Paddy Oliver defending from Sean Glover, one half of T2 Racing. And he's got Jack Steele there as well.
I think this is a little bit further back than Glover normally is, if that's right. I think Glover's been poking his head around the back of the top 10 from time to time in the previous races. Oh, that's a bit wide though.
Yeah, he's been running deep there at Le Coupe's very often, and that's now allowed Ashlyn Reynolds up the inside, and he should get the move done through Mineshaft. Oh, that's tight through there. Now Glover's got the inside line into Crocodiles, and he might be able to defend this. What is the exit going to be like for Reynolds? Not good enough, so Glover has managed to hold on.
Yeah, so last week Glover was 10th and 9th. In his two races, Jack Steele. Oh, what a save.
That is a massive save
I'm
from
waving
Jack
a flag,
Steele.
and it isn't a yellow one, it is brown.
And I think McLean followed him through into the sand trap there at Cheetah.
How often does that happen when the car ahead of you does something and you just decided to copy?
Oh, yeah, no, it is just reflex. But look at how close these two are still. Wow.
This is cool. Do you mind if we stick on board for a little bit? I just want to see how
Absolutely.
clean these two are driving. It's and the differences in the car as well. I really love this about ACC is just how differently you can set up cars and how both these drivers are getting the most out of them. I just realized how much curb Tan is taking through those S's. I'm totally scared of those curbs when I go through there. I mean, I was in a Porsche, but
That's fair.
No, that Mercedes can absolutely eat the curbs for breakfast.
yeah, it's just.
What do you
cool.
reckon Tan
Yeah.
eats for breakfast? What do you reckon his go-to is?
It's probably a Weet-Bix guy. Probably a Weet-Bix guy.
Do they have
That's my
Weet-Bix over there?
bet. Oh, they have something similar, don't they? The Vitabrixy sort of things going around.
Yeah, true.
Pretty sure it's become a global thing.
I don't know what the staple food for breakfast would be in Singapore. Pip would be
Maybe some
Toast.
rice porridge.
I was going to say, Singapore, they do like noodle stuff. There are some toasts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
purely
they-
speculation here, chat.
No, I was there. I was there last year at the Dota International and been previously as well. But yeah, it's a really nice country. It's fantastic. Internet's fantastic. Everyone's connected and
Fruit Loops.
it's,
Yeah.
everything runs on time and the traffic's phenomenal. I've never been in a city that was like so efficient getting from one end to the other. Everything runs on clockwork too. You've got your watch out and the bus is meant to arrive in 30 seconds and you can see it and it stops in front of you within 10 seconds of when it's meant to.
Wow.
And then you're on the bus and it's driving away within 10 seconds of when it said it was there. Like it's
So just like Melbourne
unbelievable.
then.
It's with Melbourne you can predict it with a sundial.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like it'll be somewhere in the next 45 minutes and
Yeah.
Turns out it rocked up 20 minutes early, so you missed it. You got to wait now for the next one or whatever it is. You know, like that's it's just
You know.
all over the place in Melbourne.
You know, I think the last time I used public transport out of Melbourne, we ended up stranded on the platform because I was taking the regional train back home, and yeah, we were stuck on the platform for about 25 minutes without a conductor. No driver in sight, and then after we got the announcement that there was no driver, a minute later we had a driver.
That'd be right.
Yeah,
So, the wonders of Victorian public transport.
that's all right. But at least out in the rural areas, they've made it $9 for the whole day pass now. So
It's $10 because
it's $10?
because it's the same as metro prices, so it increased at the same time to $10.
at least it's not the $28 or whatever it was for an adult.
For me, out here, it used to be about maybe $45.
Yeah, well, it was $28 one way. That was what it was. So my wife
yeah.
used to go to the city every day, and she just
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it was all distance dependent, so the further out you were, the more expensive it was to actually get to see them. I mean, it was still like fairly comparable to driving and paying for fuel, but now it's like a no-brainer. And out here, the usage for public transport has been increased massively, even though we've only got V-line buses out here.
that's great. I'm laughing at chat here, just saying hashtag first world problems. It's
Thank
just
you,
like,
John.
yep.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating when things aren't on time, but these guys, if any of them were a driver of public transport, would be there in way quicker time than need be. The transport system would be running perfectly. I'd say this has been such a good.
Out of all public
clean
transport,
race.
what would you prefer to drive? What would you prefer to do?
Oh.
And that can be
Like
can we-
planes,
can we
everything,
include-
planes,
can we-
boats.
Yeah, let's include everything. Let's include absolutely, and everyone gets paid the same amount,
Okay, yeah. So you don't do it.
so they become a pilot.
I would honestly take train.
Mate, same. I don't know what it is about trains, but they just seem relaxing.
They seem relaxing. You get different scenery to what you'd get like on the roads if you were like a coach driver.
Yep. And it's hard
Tuck,
to
tuck.
derail one.
Yeah, fairly. But yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Plus-
I love my trains.
Maybe we can do a race where we're all different. No, that wouldn't make sense.
I
Plane
I
racing.
don't know what I'd do. I'd probably pick train as well, to be honest. I think, because especially with the thought of like how it would affect your life, right? Like I'm always that person that's what sort of impact. If you pick a pilot, you know, you're gone for days and days at a time. Truck drivers are gone for days as well, especially if you're like doing interstate hauling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think, although it's public transport, I don't think you're publicly transporting when you're doing truck driving. But yeah, maybe buses might be all right too. But definitely I think trains would be just nice and chill. It's chill till it's not, because with a train you don't really have much choice. If you're going to hit something, you're hitting it. there's no. Oh, yep, I can just hit the brakes and stop now.
I'm going to just
tend hit
quickly
things.
weave.
Yeah, the amount of times I caught trains back when I was doing like school in the city, it was the train stops probably not once a month, but once every 2 months, because we hit something that was on the tracks or something like that, and it's like, yep, all right, we're just chilling here now. So it does happen, but you just sort of can't do anything about it. So
I wonder if any sim racers out there do work in the public transport business. Surely.
I did do driving
Maybe.
instructing. Does that count? I
Yeah.
was driven around a lot, and in
I
a
used to
car
do
all
courier
day.
work, and I ended up hating that. But I used to love driving around the countryside. So
I'm sure there'll be some involved in public transport somewhere, where that be actually driving or whatever it is, or just behind the scenes work. I'm sure there'd be at least one out there.
I'd love to
I'm
know
gonna
what the number one job is or career for sim racers.
The number one. It's probably all IT nerds. That's what it'll be.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think it is. Based on, speaking of,
Two seconds,
yellow.
we got a yellow flag. That is Connor
Oh.
Hind.
He's facing the wrong way too.
Yeah.
well, he's
Oh,
going to
it's
be sacked
probably-
tomorrow, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy.
No.
Unwell and made a mistake, I reckon.
Yeah. I'd say probably a bit too much curb is my guess.
Yep, just typical Rari things.
Yeah. That S's has scared me a number of times in my races here. I've only done a couple of races here, but I have vivid memories of that curb. I really just have to be careful of it in the race, especially as your tires start giving out. Oh, he's actually right up there and running a slightly different line, a bit too tight. Yeah, look at that. Catches the inside of that curb. Does a good
Lucky
job.
not to get collected there.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, did a good job just to half keep control of the spin and send it off into a safe spot. It's a lot of practice to get good at spinning safely / controlling your car as you're out of control. As much as there's a point where you are going for the spin and you have to accept it, and you can sort of control it to where you want it to go. That was a nice little place to come to a rest there.
Now we are
I'm sorry.
approaching close to halfway. We've got 37 minutes to go in this race. We will be looking at more drivers coming into the pits very, very soon.
Nice, deep.
This
That's it.
battle is going to be one we'll need to keep an eye on, because particularly in who blinks first for the pit stop, because I think this race is going to be won on pit strategy. Just given how long Tan has been on the back of Bakita, with Bakita just not budging at all.
I think the person who wins this is the person with the most fuel. I think if someone has, 2 more laps worth of fuel, that's the person that's going to win. If Pip has to pit and 10 can go 2 more laps, I think he gets the overcut, because you've got to wait for those tyres to spin up. Although Pip has been absolutely blitzing on her pit stop. She has been getting like top 3 fastest pit stop times in the groups. Sam Wise is all over keeping that data. He's lead commentator and Ted Bundy in the pits, but saying more useful things than Ted.
I think anything anyone would say would be more useful than Ted.
I'm glad it's just not me. And Malik that have that opinion. It's I swear every time I hear that guy come on in the thing, I'm just like, oh my goodness. It's almost like having an annoying friend that just wants
Oh,
to
it is.
harp on about something. It's like, okay, mate, I'm paying attention to the race. Just
Yep.
Who's
Uh,
that? Who's that? Sorry.
Dead Bundy. F1.
Oh, the old mate Kravitz. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
yeah. As I always have said in the last couple of years, he's gone down. Like, it's less about him discussing things in his own way. It's that he's found out during the day. It's more him having to say something when he has
Yeah.
no information that's either factual or he's just taken an absolute punt. Then it's made it more about him rather than the interesting tidbits of pit lane.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
2
stuff.
seconds. 2 seconds, Mole. We got possible move here with Hignett
2
right
seconds,
behind
Ted.
Ricker.
2 seconds, Ted, is the best phrase ever because it's basically saying shut the fuck up.
Yes. But no.
And it's
Hi-
directed at Ted, so it's even better.
yeah.
Yes, very much so. But yeah, Hignett was not able to get a move done there on Ricker. Wasn't able to get as good a run out of mine shaft. He gets very loose through cheater.
Yeah. I feel if I was paying, I've been kind of paying attention to the meta stuff of how they do the broadcast over at the F1 there, and I think quite often the directors like, we're gonna fill this space because the race is getting a bit of a lull, so let's throw it to Ted. Oh wait, there's a radio thing that someone wants to play. Let's play that. And the amount of times Ted goes to say something and then the radio gets played at the same time, we'll notice it at the same time, and they'll just go 2 seconds, Ted. Radio, and it's just like, so like it happens over and over and over. So I really do think they use him as filler because they're like, no, it's getting a little bit slow, let's change the action. Do you know what I mean? They try to get that movie style multiple threads happening through the story of the race. So here's a little bit of the pit lane on the ground guy.
Yes.
Pretty much they just need a weather girl, you know, that's standing out there with an umbrella in the wind, just going, oh, I think it's going to start raining, or it's hot and sunny.
To be fair, that's what Ted does himself half the time.
I think the rain as well. They when they know a race is going to be pretty average, they always discuss the possibility of weather, like if it's factual or not. Like, I understand that, but at the same time, I think a lot of people turn off the volume because they're just sick of hearing the tripe. Like, it's the probably the most money spinning motorsport in the world. Why don't they have other things to talk about? Discuss a driver's other life. I don't know. Like, it just seems. There was wait till we're doing the F1 League on Sundays now. Just wait till we bring up one of these segments. It's who said it, and what are they talking about? And there's a great one that Martin Brundle spilled on about. No, Ted spilled on about for about 3 sessions.
No.
Oh, it's to do with a cottage pie.
Oh.
And it triggered Kitty so much that he had to send it to me 3 times. I'm like,
I think I remember during testing at the start of the year, strangely enough, David Croft was talking about Married at First Sight Australia during F1 testing.
Yeah.
Just randomly, just brought it up.
I'm not saying we're perfect or I'm perfect. I'm far from it. I talk more tribe than most, but I'm also not getting paid $100,000 a year to sit down and discuss something when I've got 15,000 cameras and monitors to look at data. Like,
yeah,
and been doing it for 40 years, but at the same time, they do say good stuff.
Yeah, and I was going to say they rest on their laurels a bit in a lot of these.
Who's your favourite? Who's your
spot.
favourite commentator or analyst in that panel?
Richard. Oh, ever? I was going to go.
I love
I was going to
Davidson.
say.
I always enjoy anything Davidson says. Is it Davidson?
Anthony Davidson.
Yep.
I think Davidson,
Yeah, no, Davidson's good.
Naomi, I've really enjoyed Naomi being on the show.
Mhm.
I don't actually mind Rosberg, but
I'm going to pick an Aussie
Brittany.
that doesn't do it, by the way. Okay, do you guys know Richard Craill? That guy nails
Krause.
commentary. Yeah, Krause. He is amazing. He commentated. He was sort of just getting going into his commentary stuff when I was racing F3, and Ben, he's just been awesome, and I've even got the chance to commentate with him at events where my car broke down before the race. So he's just like, come up in the box and let's have a go. So it's
Yeah, no,
he's
Kralsey is an absolute
so
legend.
good.
He's really like took off lately as well. What he's been
About time too.
overseas commentating in Le Mans, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been doing all sorts of really cool things. My favorite thing though is when the 12 hours started happening in Australia. He had this thing where he had to do as much as possible of it without taking breaks. So he would go the whole 12 hour and have like a wee break and that's it. And I believe one year he might have even made it the whole way. It's ridiculous. He's insane. He loves commentating that much that he just wants to do it. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. I'm with Sun a little bit here that I wasn't the biggest fan of Danica Patrick. Some of the comments she says.
Well,
was just
2
like,
seconds.
oh, here we go.
Philippa Bakita has come into pit lane, so Dylan Tan has a bit of clean track to utilize now. He has shown pretty good speed, so this could be very, very tight whenever he comes in.
And Pip's been a little bit blocked there with vision coming into the pits. That's really crucial. It did look pretty quick though as she came in, but that car moved right in front of her as she came in, which might have potentially blocked her sight a little bit. This is what I was talking about though. I think Tan could possibly get the overcut if he can do 2 laps. If he's got 2 laps worth of fuel, he will only have, the lightest possible fuel he can in the car, and he's going to go all out here. He's going to be absolutely pushing the wheels off this Mercedes that he's driving here, which, yeah, he's using all the track. Look at him floating it in there. Yeah, he's going at it. So let's see if he can get the overcut. It does take a couple laps for these tyres to come up.
Do you reckon he comes straight in?
Right. Okay.
Oh, apparently Philippa's car did move in the box, so Dylan Tan is now in the box seat here.
Yeah, he's driving so hard. I love watching good drivers drive hard. It looks so smooth, but so out of control at the same time.
Oh, it does.
It's floating, but it's going exactly where he's pointing it. Like he's floating around, but you can tell this is exactly where he wants it to go. He's predicting the floatiness.
It's not controlled, but it is so controlled.
Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful to watch a fast driver go. Oh, he's using all the track, and he's going to get straight in. Yeah.
He has a prime opportunity here to capitalize on Philippa's bad luck in the pits.
Yeah, let's see.
We will keep an eye on it. Got camera 2 showing Dylan Tan's pit stop. Philippa Bakita is out on track at the moment. We will keep an eye on when Tan starts moving.
Yeah, Pip doesn't appear to have had any traffic on the way out too, because that's also a worry, is that you can come out right behind someone and be a little bit held up. But Pip seems to be going all right through here, traveling pretty smoothly. They were quite close when Pip came into the pits, so let's see.
And again, if Philippa's car did get moved in the box, and yeah, Dylan Tan is now moving.
Wow.
I think Tan is going to come out into the lead of this race.
Although the extra pace of...
that is the pit exit line.
That is miles ahead, actually.
Yep, so Philippa Bakita, who has moved in the box, unsighted of where a pit box actually was, has conceded the lead to Dylan Tan.
2 seconds as well, probably. Although she's going to have a bit more pace for the start here, but then she's going to have to do the move on the track. And these two are so close on pace. What's it, 2 seconds, is it?
I think Dylan Tan was actually the faster of the two, but just could not utilize the pace, given that he was stuck behind the BMW.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate with that timing of that pit, but really well done. I had a thought that whoever could go the longest would get ahead, and this has been fantastic here by Tan. But again, I'd say, like what you said, it's probably down to that pit stop. Pip isn't streaming, is she? She doesn't stream much or that regularly, does she? Her league races. I wonder. I'd love to see if anyone was actually watching or has something to hear what she says.
Yeah, no, people certainly won't be happy, but Dylan Tan will absolutely be chuffed with this.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
And it does sound like she is streaming,
Oh, very good.
so could get a glimpse on the reaction there. I don't think it'll be very favourable. Yeah, no, there we go. In chat, that can't repeat 'cause it's not very PG. So yeah, we will definitely not be repeating that one. But that is so unfortunate for Bakita, as now every driver has come into pit lane and will have completed their mandatory pit stop with 25 minutes to go. So everyone going for a roughly similar strategy.
Yep, that's usually the way you want to do these 30-minute races, is just pit right in the middle there, because your tyres do start to go off towards the end of that 30 minutes, especially if you're driving it hard. So you want to try and keep on the freshest rubber as possible.
Just want to discuss Chris
Cooley,
Cooley second.
Yeah, Cooley.
You didn't mean to do that.
Just driving around.
Silverstone, Cooley finished 18th, and at Hungary he was 20th, and then he finished 12th. So this will be his first top 10 and
Top 3.
first top 3. So he's having a great little round here, which is great to see.
Absolutely, this has been a very, very good showing from Chris Cooley in the unfavoured Aston Martin.
I was going to say, obviously, really, the Aston works here, but I'd say, obviously, a fan of driving this track too, because you don't put it in the top 3 with this field this competitive.
That's it.
Without driving it really, really well. So,
Max as well. He's this is his first top 10 in the series so far. He was 20th at Silverstone, and in the 2 Hungary races, he was 19th and he was 25th. So big improvement and great to see as well.
Absolutely, there's been some great standout drives from a few of these drivers tonight.
I was going to say, I don't envy having to choose who goes through, because this is going to be very tight with a couple of people pulling out superstar performances here. And yeah, this battle still rages on here for the 6th place. Pit stops have just left it all the same. It's a lot of staring at the back of this Porsche, as there has been all race long, from all these Ferraris and Lamborghinis.
Yeah, absolutely. Gallo's been stoic in defense and has held on really well, but he's got to hold on against Jamie Koza now. And there's still 23 minutes to go in this race, so anything could happen, but it's a fair chunk of time that Gallo's got to hold strong and keep consistent.
Coming through sunset now. It's 6th, 7th, and 8th. And man, I love watching Gallo's lines. Gallo has this really sort of slow in, fast out approach, and he's had it the whole series, just taking a slightly slower and wider line on the way in, and then just getting on the power and ripping away. Most of the Ferrari drivers are doing the opposite. You see them dive right up under brakes, come in, and the Porsche's on the power and legging it away right now, and the Ferrari then has to try and catch back up. Makes it really hard to put a pass on when the other person is so fast off the exit.
Absolutely, as we now look at Ashwin Reynolds, it was right up close to the rear end of McNeil as Bakita sets fastest lap. She is not going to let this go. She is just closing ever so slightly on Dylan Tan. She wants to make up for that mistake.
I was going to say it was a bit of a fault. I was going to drift on here. It's, McLaren, this is the furthest forward McLaren we've got in the field actually, which is a bit sad for the McLaren fans out there. McLaren's usually somewhere, 1 or 2 of them in the top 10 normally, but Reynolds is putting the pressure, they're putting a blowtorch to the back of McNeely here. And, close that back up again and make it a little bit more hairy again. Look at the braking performance. Wow. Oh. Both drivers getting squirrely on the exit too on these fresh rubber, so I wonder if they're going to hurt their tyres a bit if they keep sliding around this much by the end of the stint. What do you think, Alex? Do you think they'll make the tyres last if they keep sliding this much, these two?
Oh, look, I mean, you are only going for a half-hour stint, so the tires will make it. It's just
Will
what
they be
condition
fast at
will
the
they be in?
end? You've got to be careful not to grain them, right, in that first half of the stint.
Yeah, no, if you grind the tires, then you're going to be hurting a touch towards the end of the race, but I'd say most of these drivers should be pretty fine with it. But we'll keep an eye on what Reynolds can do, as Dylan 10 is now fighting back some a 40.1, so the two out front trading fastest laps at the moment. It was Bakita on the last lap, now it is Dylan 10 on this lap. This is going to be interesting to watch to the end. But again, they're just so close in lap time. You'd think Dylan would have it covered unless there is a mistake or Bakita just really puts a hammer down.
Yeah, maybe there's a couple of one or two cars that might end up being some lap traffic, but the lap traffic has been really, really good in this series. Everyone that has been being lapped has done really good jobs of getting out of the way. Not that there's been that much lap traffic, to be honest. The field is so competitive that we're only seeing in these longer races some couple of cars towards the end that maybe got into an incident or had a little spin or something getting lapped, but that's about it. I just can't get over how many Ferraris are in this field. Every time I look at that leaderboard, there's a third of the field is Ferraris. So obviously the go-to car at the moment.
Yes, the Ferrari is quite a good all-rounder, I've found, for the most part, in my limited running of this game lately.
Yeah, it's on the cars I've done a bit of testing in, but I haven't actually raced in a series. I've driven it a few times, but not... Did I do a race in it? No, I haven't done a race. I've done the McLaren, Aston, and Porsche, I think. Did a couple of seasons with the Aston, one in the McLaren, one in the Porsche. What about yourself? What have you driven across the series, Alex?
Well, I mean, I'm going back a long way. I mean, I started with Merc, then Lambo, as we see a Lambo out on track. This is a far newer Lambo than what I used to drive. Then I went back to Mercedes. Oh no, I had Bentley in there as well. Bentley, then Mercedes. Then I went Nissan. And then, yeah, in terms of Enduros, it's been all over the place. It's been Mercedes, it's been Lambo, it's been Aston Martin, it's been Ferrari, it's been BMW, it's been Ferrari again. Yeah, all over the shop.
Which ones? Could you give me a top three then of your favourite ones to drive?
The Bentley, when it was good, was legendary. I loved the Bentley when it was competitive. It was amazing. Next, I'd probably put the AMG, the GT3 Evo. I loved that. And then probably, the 296 that I drive at the moment in the endurance series. I've fallen in love with the 296. It is actually quite easy to get a handle of, but if you want to get pace out of it, you've really got to wring its neck.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot Mercedes. That was my first enduro race, was in a Mercedes. I just asked around on Discord who needs a +1, and someone was like, yeah, I need someone, and we drove a Mercedes. Although one of the drivers was on a controller, so we had a very, very understeery setup. But it was still a lot of fun. It could swallow curbs. It's one of those cars that would just jump over them, which is a lot of fun. I did enjoy that. What about you, Mike? Do you have a top three?
Are we talking overall in the game or
overall?
Okay.
Like even just like if you could pick a car from a certain point when it was at its best.
Bentley.
Yep.
Can I do it three
Yeah,
times?
Bentley.
No, so
Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Bentley. OG Audi. No, joking. That cars can get in the bin. What's second? Probably the Mercedes, the original Mercedes before the Evo. I didn't mind that, and then I'd say Nissan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, the Nissan when it was good was a fairly decent car. I mean, I drove it a little bit after its peak, but even then, I still found enjoyment out of it. But no, can definitely agree on Bentley and the OG Merc. I didn't get a lot of experience in the OG Merc, particularly with proper setups, but I still enjoyed it, consider it as my first experience with the game.
Yeah. I had some wins in the Bentley and the Merc, so you kind of fall back on that a little bit. The Nissan I never drove in a series, but I did enjoy the car. Other than that, I have driven the OG Audi. Was fun and fast, but it was just horrific in the wet. But they've fixed that in the Evo version. But I never drove the Lambo or the Honda or anything like that. I wouldn't go near the Porsche, but the current new Porsche is a bit of fun.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the new Porsche is fun, but it certainly has its flaws. But yeah, no. I mean, my first win we're just looking now at Connor Hind and Patrick Oliver. Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
Nearly.
Did they not take my advice?
That's all right. They're waiting for each other to
What we're
continue the
saying
battle.
about Cheetah?
Don't go too wide there. No, I think I don't know what to say there. I mean, they were overlapped, and it's sort of like, well, I don't want to back out, says Pat. He doesn't want to back out, but ends up doing it anyway, I think, in the end.
Yeah, no,
could have done it.
that move was not on for Pat Oliver, unfortunately. He had the overlap, but going into Cheetah, you're not going to get a move on there.
It's just such a hard corner to hug in the inside and give the space.
Oh, yeah.
You're naturally car's just going to want to go left the whole time.
Yep, absolutely.
And, yeah, it's just a tough corner to do it, and it showed.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on the 250s, the number 250s livery. I thought that was quite a nice little white and yellow livery, was it? No, but 250.
Yeah. Glennis, Germanus.
Glennis, yeah.
Milk Racing Team, you love to see it.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice take. It makes it look really unique, if that makes sense. There's something about it that looks quite nice.
It's probably because it doesn't have that darker accent on it. It's predominantly white and a very brightish yellow. It's just trying to stick to a milkish theme, and I'm not sure what milk is like that. We'd have to say banana, because if we say
banana,
that car's being destroyed. But yeah, it's good to see Glenn out there having a crack. He's obviously one of the main men behind the scenes. Big help for me last week when I was out of action. So much love to you, Glenn, and for everyone at OOR, big thanks for your support, mate.
Yeah, no, Glenn does a fantastic job behind the scenes. He does so much for OOR, and we thank him for we all probably owe him about 20 beers or something.
He goes for Carlton, so he's not perfect, but
yeah, no one's perfect. There you go. If you're a Carlton supporter, then you're definitely not perfect.
Yeah, but what's worse, a Carlton or a Collingwood supporter?
Hey, shut up.
Oh.
No, it's the thing. Like, everyone wants to quickly pigeonhole everyone because they go for a certain team. They're going to act a certain way. I don't think I'm a dickhead of a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah, no, Collingwood supporters can certainly be the word you've mentioned, but yeah, no. So you always get that in pretty much every
fan base has dickheads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some more than
just
most.
Which ones stick out?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say some of them they're pretentious, and then other ones they're more boganish. It depends on the club, right? My joke is it's the Collingwood Carlton match, which is where they're all in together. Do you know what I mean? Like the two crazy fan bases. So
I don't think they're as crazy as you think anymore. I think there's other teams that have taken the cake. Now, I'm not sure if you ever watched the West Coast game in West Coast.
Oh yeah,
but that is wild as if they boo
Port Adelaide home matches.
They boo injured players. They cheer.
Oh, really?
They cheer injuries for another team. When old mate smacked Thingy Bob in the wing, They were cheering the West Coast bloke when he came off the ground. He just freaking broke his jaw in 3 spots.
Oh no.
Like, that stuff's just not on, but
Yeah.
but every
Yeah.
fan base has it, and I do know some good West Coast people. I do,
Oh, they've
I do
got to
see
cheer
them
for something
sometimes when they're in
exciting.
jail, but I only get visitation rights every now and then. So
I was going to say, you know, like they got to cheer for something exciting because not much exciting happens for their team, so they got to cheer for something, right?
they've had a good win record over the journey, but yeah, at the moment it's a bit disastrous. But you don't really see any dickhead North Melbourne and Freo supporters because no one goes for them.
Well, but
So yeah,
So it's the same
no.
with Gold Coast.
yeah.
Oh,
We
dear
talk
God,
him up
no.
and he goes and loops it.
No, Easy Beach. Where's who's not moving? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's because he's facing the wrong way,
Oh,
so he has to
no.
wait. No.
Oh, this is scary.
That is scary.
Glenn's life
That
is
scary.
flashing before his eyes.
And he's. Just
Oh,
stop
someone
moving.
goes wide. They're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
reverse
was
her
gonna
up,
say-
Glenn.
oh, he's-
He wants to come back around, but he's wait after. Oh no, I don't know.
Where'd he go? These two and then go.
Yeah, these two and
Yeah,
go.
these two and then go.
Go.
Go, Glenn. Go, Glenn.
Go.
That's-
Yeah, he's got it. He's got
Oh my lord.
That was scary. All right. We did actually have Slade get a
Phew.
drive through as well, unfortunately.
Yes, I did see that as well. Yeah, Slade had a drive through. I believe earlier on he collided with the wall, but managed to keep things going as well. But yeah, it hasn't been the best race for Slade.
That one.
There's a whole bunch of curb. Surely it's just a bunch of curb, right? Almost always is. Yep, he's offline. Yep. It's all right. Keeps it off damage, but yeah. That's just it took
Common
it slightly
Jetstar
tighter.
experience.
Yeah, just a bit.
What, late?
Yes.
I hate Jets.
Oh, Pat. Yeah, Pat gets a 10-second
Yeah,
penalty.
10. Yeah,
for-
that was. I was expecting that one.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But
Hello,
gave the
Tristan.
squid something to do.
Yeah, if I
Saying
could-
hello to Tristan. Yes.
Yeah, I'll purposely never fly Jetstar. It's like I never get in the Porsche unless I had to.
The problem is Jetstar's the one that sometimes gives you that random $30 flight somewhere.
They're
or
$30
whatever.
because they're not guaranteed to even turn up.
Yeah. If you get on a Jetstar, if you book a Jetstar flight, you'll be boarding a Qantas flight.
Whee.
Oh, there's Shady Samuel at the final corner.
Oh no.
What's he done here?
Let's go. What is it?
Self-inflicted for sure. Too much. What
Yeah,
the
that
hell
is
is
a-
that? I've never seen that.
That is a very rare incident.
Has he popped a
Oh.
tyre?
Or just accidentally turned off traction control? Like that's what it feels like.
That is
Expecting traction
bizarre.
control to be there and just jamming on the accelerator. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, very strange.
We're still going.
Car must be.
Oh no!
Well,
Yeah, no,
something's
that.
wrong.
Yeah, that's a Jetstar flight.
Yeah, no, that. I reckon there's a tyre there that is completely done.
I think he's got a
Yeah.
puncher. That's my guess.
Oh, he seems to be. He's. Oh, I don't
It's
know.
okay. He's going fast.
Bouncy boy.
Whoa.
No, that's the. No way. That's popped. That's something wrong with that car.
Yep. It's clipped something.
It's
Damn it.
Italian.
It's Italian.
I wish the hub would give us more info, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But yeah, it doesn't look settled.
Meanwhile, out front, Dylan Tan has just absolutely stretched his lead out front. 4 seconds over Philip Makita. That is outstanding from the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, really, really impressive and just really well executed game plan too to do that overtake in the pit stop and come out ahead and then just drive away. Like
I
to
mean-
drive 3 seconds or so, 2 or 3 seconds away from Pip in the last 20 minutes. It's only been 15 or 20 minutes that he's done that in, so 10 laps. That's heaps. That's heaps. So
I mean, there is a reason why he receives such high praise within the region and in the world, really. Like, he is one of the fastest drivers you'll ever see in this game, and he is showing all of his pace tonight. This has been unbelievable from Dylan Tan.
Yeah, really impressive. As we're back in this battle again, this battle has been raging on for the whole race. These guys and girls are really putting on a cool little battle for us.
Yeah, Reynolds on the back of McNeil still. McNeil's been holding on with all of his might out there.
And going through, I think this is one of my favorite parts of this track. This bit here, it's so, oh man, this McLaren is sliding around.
Yeah,
Really having a lot of work on that wheel. Didn't get into the apex where it was pointing, but managed to make the corner, but it wasn't quite as smooth as Reynolds was hoping. Opens up the throttle down to the crocodile. Right through the gears. And slamming on that brake. It's looking really good under brakes.
it's just that traction that seems to be the problem for Reynolds at the moment.
Yeah, he's got a better line through there. I think I'll probably put on a bit quicker though, actually. Just more
He
of the
took
track
it about
line.
as tight as he wanted to, though.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's getting pretty loose on that rear end for Reynolds on that McLaren.
I wonder if a few people have gone maybe a little bit too high on their tyre pressures and getting their tyres going off or away from them.
Oh,
They're
here
pushing
is Connor Hine now chasing after Shady Samuel. Can he get a move done into turn 2? He's going to have to brake pretty late. He's sticking the nose there.
Oh,
Shady Samuel
Well, he left the door open.
the room.
I
He
was gonna
left the
say,
room, but
yeah, gentlemen.
Connor wasn't able to get up the inside.
Yeah, that was Samuel going, oh, you are faster and your nose is there. It's kind of smart driving just to not close the door down and assume that the other driver's going to back out, because if they get a little bit too close, you will wear them in the door. Yes, they will get a penalty for it, but you're the one that's spinning around sitting on the side of the track. So fair play to leave the door open to make sure that they don't get driven into. It's just good awareness there by Samuel.
Yeah, race smarts coming into play there.
I would have slammed that screen door shut and locked it.
Yeah.
Closed the blinds, the curtains, turned the light off, and I would have gone to bed if that was kind of behind me.
But
But
we
they
all
let-
know Connor should be in the top 5 sort of thing at the moment for pace. So he's going to be looking. He's going to be poking.
Definitely. He was on song Wednesday. He's just obviously a bit crook at the moment. But
Yeah.
he's still out there, and that's the main thing. He's rocked up tonight, so good work, Connor. I hope you don't drink any more of that Devonport water, because it's not good for you, mate.
Yeah, no, I saw a comment earlier saying he sounded like he was about to shake hands with the Grim Reaper earlier.
Yeah, I couldn't rock
No.
up to his house because I couldn't shake his hand. So I'll do it later, Connor, because this is a pretty poor effort. I'm joking, mate. Nah, I'm joking. He knows I love him.
No, he's been driving really, really well this this series. So it's a pity he's just had that little mistake. And
Well,
it was
'cause,
it was only a small mistake too, really.
Oh, it was, and that's all it needs to be in a field like this. Someone who's just flown under the radar for this race is Mitch Hobbs.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of podiums so far and a win. And he's just cruising around there in P4, rocking up those points.
And comfortably the lead Ferrari on track.
I was going to say he has been the quickest Ferrari most of the time, like in every session almost.
Yeah.
So it's really pacey. Obviously, the Ferrari doesn't perform quite as well here, probably due to the fact that it can't take advantage of launching over the curbs like the front couple of cars have been able to.
Yep, can't yeet it, delete it.
It's not far behind Curley though.
Not got a lot of time though, as Shady Samuel gets a stop-go 20 for an unsafe rejoin. That is a big smack.
Yeah,
He's done the
wow.
naughty. Welcome back from holidays, Shady.
Yeah,
Wow.
here's your holiday return gift.
Maybe
we see
he's
that? We didn't
maybe
see
he's
that, did
copped
we?
a stop go 20 because there's been no other real penalties. So he's like, we've accumulated all the penalties we could have given. We have to give it somewhere. No, but no doubt he's made a mistake. What lap did it say?
Lap 30.
Lap 30.
Alrighty.
Oh, big dip of the grass. My Hobbs there. Hobbs is trying to chase down Kyalami for the 3rd place. But yeah, it's probably not going to happen. There's only
Yeah, it was right
2 laps
here.
left. Oh, it was this one, the spin.
Yeah.
So... Oh, he's going to just turn around and hit someone? No way.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
I was wondering why he wasn't far ahead of where the replay stopped before, and that is why, because he came across in front of another driver.
Oh, that
Just giving you a sneak
no,
peek at how it
and
works.
that's why we were seeing the other car driving around going, it's not turning anywhere. Is that would make sense, right? Oh no, yeah, because he's just deleted the front of the car. Oh, because that Lambo that was the one we were.
That was
pointing out,
that was McNeil, I think.
Oh, McNeil, sorry, yeah. Well, we were on board with McNeil, right? Going, why is his car not turning?
I'm not sure anymore.
I'm
What
trying
is
to
life?
think what it was. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate.
He'll be
You've got to use
very
track
upset.
map. Not everyone leaves it on. You got to leave it. Got to check that to make sure that it's clear.
But we are on the last lap now.
We are. It's been such a quiet race at the front. These top 5 have just been in a straight line, and apart from the overtake in the pit stops from 10.
Stephen Ty, he's 5th. He didn't race Silverstone, I don't think. But at Hungary, he was 16th in race 1 and 16th in race 2.
Great recovery.
So this will be his PB for the GT3 Cup.
Well, we know the pace that he can have, but Dylan Tan is going to come through the final few corners now, and this has been a stellar race from Dylan Tan. He is going to come through the final corner Ingwe, and he is going to come across the line and win here at Kyalami for the split A of the Simagic GT3 Cup. That is brilliant stuff. Bakita comes across in P2. She'll be bitterly disappointed, having missed out on the win after a mistake in the pit stops. And Cooley, coming across the line, will take P3 with his best result so far by a mile.
But absolute mile. That is such a big jump up the ranks for him. And Mitch Hobbs performing as to be expected. And Stephen Ty. Both of these two have been consistently well in that top 10. Really well driven there. Gallo, I believe this is one of the best performances by him. Top 10 isn't a bad showing for him at all, though. Koza and Hignett. And Brist, actually. Sorry. Yeah, that's 5 positions gained in the Nissan, which is quite well done there.
And Ricker with his first top 10 so far as well. That is brilliant effort from the BMW driver.
Some people really showing up this weekend. Reynolds actually pulling it all the way up to P13. I believe he started a lot further back, didn't he? So, good little drive by him, keeping his nose clean. Pat Oliver coming across the line, getting the 10-second penalty. He's probably going to gain a position on Samuel, though, and then immediately lose it to the Ferrari behind due to that penalty.
And then we'll have Glover and Cook, your final drivers, to cross the line, with Slade, Jermaine, and Beaton already crossing the line.
There we go. Here's Cook. And that is Group A of the Australia Motorsport Simagic GT3 Cup, brought to you by Octane Online Racing. So
talk us through the overall leaderboard.
It's 10 in first place in the Mercedes. Absolutely amazing drive with that overcut. In the middle of the race there, Pip having exactly 30 minutes of fuel in. That was really the talk of the race in the top 5. That was the only overtake we had. And Pip getting a little bit blocked through that due to another car coming into the pits at the same time and sort of covering her braking markers, and she missed her pit bay by a little bit. But Pip, still a fantastic drive. Shouldn't be disappointed with second place there. Just taking it easy towards the end and letting 10 driving away after applying the blowtorch, and then Curly with an absolutely probably driver of the day, or most improved, definitely, with jumping from outside the top 10 into third position from where they've been finishing in the previous races. So great qualifying and great race. Mitch Hobbs right up there, Stephen Ty, Gallo, then Koza, then Hignett, and Burrs and Ricca. Is it Ricca? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep, Ricca is in the top 10 for the first time as well. So a couple of brand new top 10ers. Our silver tier, this is all our international. So 10 was still number 1. Tafik in 2, Cook, and I'm not going to even try to have that. Jermaine. Well done. So fantastic by 10. Just showing up all the Aussies there. He's very, very, very speedy, and can't wait to see more of it as we jump across to qualifying.
No, we're still
2 minutes. Practice. 2 minutes of free practice. So, yeah, go grab a hot chocolate. Get yourself ready for the next race. What's your drink of choice if you got a 2-minute break between races? What do you go and grab, boys and girls?
I mean, you can't go wrong for Milo, but wouldn't mind a nice cup of tea. I go a black tea with a little bit of sugar, a little bit of milk.
How's it black if you put milk in it? Sorry, I've always just seen. It's not green tea. It's not green tea. Yeah. It's not green tea.
It's what it says on the tea bag.
Yeah, it's not green. It's not green. I just realised it's like, yeah, it's not a green tea. Yeah.
Yes, and just answering Buffy's question, I believe Shady Samuel ended up finishing P20 after his 50-second penalty.
Ugh. Ouch. Got Hobbsy in the box.
Yeah, I've come to say some funky words.
Some funky words. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, and that will do me for tonight. It has been a pleasure to commentate the GT3 Cup for this first group, but I will hand it over now to Hobbsy now to take over my role for the second group.
Thanks, Alexis.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Alexis.
What up, Mitch?
How you doing,
P4.
Hobbsy?
P4, mate.
Yeah. Look, that was probably could have been more had I not tried to go for a silly line through the S's and hit the curb and I don't know what's the word, spin.
Ah, spin, did you? You must have missed that.
Yeah, half spin. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have seen. There was no yellow flags or anything, so that's probably why you didn't see it. But yeah,
Just
look, P4. Yeah, what else can I ask for?
Yeah, you've been consistently right up the front there this season. It's been really good to watch you drive so hard. You happy with how you performed?
Yeah. I'm actually a little bit shocked with how well I've done so far. Going into this round was I knew, not that I like to blame BOP usually, but I knew in this case that the Ferrari compared to, Audi, even though I don't think we had any Audis in our split, Merc and BMW, it's not a match, unfortunately. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's fair enough. There's obviously a number of curbs you want to swallow on this track by the looks of it, by watching those front two drive. Yeah, they were just all four wheels over the curbs at like half the corners on the track or more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely definitely one that's got a fairly spread out BOP. I've found, the Mercs up the top, then you've got the Audi, you've got the M4. Then there's a bit of a gap I've found. Then you've got sort of Lambo, Ferrari in there. You've got McLaren towards the back, as much as they don't want me saying it. Yeah, it's certainly going to raise things. Dry quali, though, which is good. Drivers will be frothing over a dry quali.
Yeah, we've had a lot of mixed weather in both series.
We have.
You've been enjoying a little bit of mix-up of weather?
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed the wet at Silverstone in round one. That was, in the quali at least, the race was dry, of course. But, yeah, I mean, definitely raises things up a bit. I think, Kyalami this time of year really is going to be dry anyway. So this is sort of what you'd expect. A bit, obviously, a couple of showers. And I'm assuming the, weather's being taken into consideration from IRL and, want to change things up a bit. But Yeah, I think that the range overall has been good. The temperature change has been good. I know we had a cool around. We're up a little bit higher to what people are usually used to, sort of 22, 21. Our top temps are at 24 here. So definitely spicing things up a little bit.
Yeah, it's exciting. And again, I just want to say congrats on how well you've been doing. Like, you've just been keeping your nose super, super clean. I know you said you had a half spin, but that's pretty clean considering, well, all things considered. You haven't had a big moment yet, and I'm sure we'll see you in the top tier when it comes through after the qualifiers. That's for sure.
Yeah, look, that's all I'm really aiming for. You want to get to the top split in. Well, at least I do. I know other people just want to have a go and see where they get. But obviously, my aim's top split. Knowing the drivers that I'm going to be up against, it's going to be tough to come finals if I'm there to get the results that I am now, because you've just got so many fast drivers. You've got Bokita, you've got Tan. We saw Cooley in that race. He was really fast, really consistent. You've got in this one, you've got Strelnikov, you've got Morella, you've got, I think there's even Terry Rayton in there, Corey Sweet. Just so many drivers that, Kobe Chan as well. They're all going to be up there. So it's going to be very difficult come finals, I can tell you that. Obviously, maybe there will be some car changes as well. That might shake things up a bit. So, yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting finals. Entertaining one, I can tell you that.
Are you going to stick to the Ferrari, or you're not going to? You're going to hold your cards close to your chest?
I think that'll be the plan. More so, looking at the calendar, it's not the fastest. I know that. But I think I need to stick to what I know, because I've driven the Ferrari for 95% of the 1.9 patch, just because of SRO needing to drive for that and having sort of just stuck with that. I drove it for Sprint Series last season just to get used to it, and I sort of just stuck with it because it just, I don't know, the Ferrari's different to a lot of the other cars I found, in a good way, because I found it's easy to get pace out of people, we all know that. But getting that little bit of extra, the last 5 to 10% out of the car, that's extremely difficult, and that's what you want. You hunt for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, when we've been on board with yourself and others, it seems to really have a lot of like first third of the corner pace, really on that under braking and turning, just compared to some of the other cars. Especially we're on board with one of the Ferrari boys right behind a Porsche, and he was just all over him on the entrance of the corners, like everywhere. Looked like he was half going for a pass almost every corner.
Yeah, look, and I mean, even if we went on board here with the Lambo Rashidi, you'd see, the differences between the cars. The Ferraris, you said, very good first, third to half of the corner. Really good under brakes. It's really good on rotation. Gets you where you want it to be. Something, like the Lambo, not so good on brakes. Really, really good engine braking if you've got it set up right and you're using the right engine maps. Unbelievable on engine braking. Pretty good on exits. So, and then you've got, Porsche's good mid-corner. Doesn't have so much grip. You've got the M4, as you can see, Kobe Chan on top there, 40.5 straight away. It's not very good under braking. It's pretty terrible, to be perfectly honest. But it's got the mid-corner and it's got the exit. Even with the turbo lag, it's still there, but it's really good on the straights as well. Here especially, it's quite good. It's not fastest, but, you can't really complain.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. No, thanks for the in-depth analysis of where cars.
I could have kept going, but I didn't want to particularly bore the stream.
No, I really love picking apart some brain, and I'm sure chat's loving some extra information, as we've had some of the first times come across. And again, Chan and Selnikov, exactly who you picked, and Morella in the only. Oh no, actually, we've got 2 Audis in this class, as they just jump up another notch on the leaderboard there, as we're starting to get some more people set their second laps in. Bit of shuffling around happening at the top. Is that a Porsche that's... Oh no, we've just swapped down to the leaderboard. I was going to say, I'm like, hang on, there's no way a Porsche just jumped up to the front. But yeah, we've got 2 Porsches in the top 5 though. But it's going to shuffle around a little bit more for sure. So has Kai ridden been in the Porsche the whole time? I'm trying to remember.
Yep, sure has. Been
Yeah.
great performance. Been really consistent, especially in having somewhat knowledge. The Porsche's not actually very good around here. It's got no grip. It's somewhat okay during the corners, I guess, but pretty decent on the brakes, but doesn't, have the grip of any other car. It just seems really loose from when I've driven it at other tracks. I haven't driven it here specifically, but from all accounts from other drivers,
Yeah.
it's not very good. So, I mean, to see him up in P5 and, he's up a 10th, there's more time, but I mean, look at the gas, almost 3/10 to Carl alone. So it's going to have to be something pretty mega here.
I was going to say, yeah, I actually drove a Porsche. What season did I drive that? It was towards the end of last year. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that mid-corner rotation, and here's just got such long corners. Everywhere is such a long time turning, so that mid-corner grip is really important. Actually, wow, finding a huge amount of time in that last little bit, actually, jumping up 3/10. So must have knew he had a mistake at the end of the lap there and kept pushing.
I mean, wow, look at this. I mean, Morella's just gone pole, but I don't think he's quite seen Kobe Chan's delta yet. I knew we saw the M4 last split. Philippa just put it on the top by 2/100. So this is going to be a cracker from Chan here. You can't beat this. This is just
all the track
sublime. 30, You cannot deny that is unbelievable.
That's a super time, yeah. The 39s, anyone doing 39s is very good. In fact, compared to what everyone else is doing, that is huge. 6/10 is the gap. So maybe the track's not quite as quick here, but that is ridiculously fast.
Yeah, it's insane. They were on optimum from the start, and of course, even though the game likes to say, hey, it's optimum, we've noticed, and a lot of drivers will notice, there's sort of different levels of optimum as Brad Cook goes off the track there. Was up, and I think he's decided he needs to jump on in, take some fuel out, and go for his final run. But you just see, here's Terry Rayton in the Ferrari, in his lovely rusty Ferrari. Back told now, he's on a lap. Let's have a look through sunset. Car looks reasonably planted, pretty good on the rotation is the old Porsche. That car, I don't know where he was going. That's the wall.
Into the wall.
So, 10th and a half up, losing a bit of time on exit. Let's have, what's the TC settings? Yeah, 3.0. That's sort of expected in the Porsche. 4 ABS, 47 brake bars. I know that seems ridiculous, but that's how you've got to drive it.
Yep.
It's, just a little bit late on the brakes there, but pulls it up nicely. Good exit. There was a 10th. Might lose a bit on exit. That's a real nasty corner there. If you get that just even slightly wide, you're half a 10th gone. It's a real nasty one. This is easily my favourite track on the calendar. That's probably why I'm so enthused about this. More than normal, I should say. But, he's down now through Crocodiles. This is a tough one as well through Cheetah. Don't hit the curb here. He's a 10th and a half up, so a good gain. Probably could have used a bit more there, but nice use on the exit curb there. Around the final corner now he comes. Let's see what this is going to do to his position. Currently P17. Good amount of time still there. So that'll bring Cross P13. I mean, that's a great effort.
Yeah, it's that cheetah line. You want it to be as close as possible to the curb without touching it, right? It's sort of that risk reward at that turn.
Yes, it depends what your approach is. So there is technically two approaches. One's probably a lot more common than the other. This will be a good example. Terry, goes for the early turning, aims for the curb, and nice use of the exit there. But you can, and I've very rarely seen this, you can go for a slightly wider, later turn in to try and maximize the exit speed. Terry's still P8, so good time there. He's got a fair chunk of time to the next Ferrari and the Ferrari above that, but I wouldn't be complaining. Top 10 is where you want to be.
Yeah, Terry's been doing a good job the last couple of races. I was just looking at the previous races, and he finished qualified fifth, for last weekend's race 1, and finished 8th. So he's been around right about where he is right now for pace wise. So I'm sure he won't be too disappointed with that, especially as you said, the Ferrari's not quite as strong here as it is at other tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the chat, we missed a question from Nick Prana. Here's a good question for the drivers. We're not doing esport racing. What do drivers do in terms of motorsport gaming? I mean, I'm stupid, obviously. Are we talking what other motorsport games do the drivers play? Just need clarification because I'm a fool.
I would say a lot of the F1 drivers are on their F1 simulators, making sure they're getting all their practice in, because those have come so far and are so close to realistic. They're often simulating their new parts that they're putting on the car, let alone the actual exact track and all that sort of stuff. They've gotten so much data from the tracks every year that they can dial their cars right in before they even get there, and they can go with the setup ready to go, which is quite amazing. So that a lot of those top level drivers are on those things all the time, and that's something that you'll notice teams will often talk about. Drivers that aren't performing well, they're also not performing well on the simulator, and that's often can be a decision for the team to. They can make the decision based off the simulator stuff as well. They're like, well, the backup driver is driving better than you, so we're gonna yeet him and put you in, and away you go. And it's usually quite accurate too. Believe that's it's not important. It's unbelievable because of the limited testing you get in a lot of forms of motorsport these days. The simulators just get absolutely pumped by the drivers. So, which again, it's a great time to be, because back when I was doing motorsport 2008, we had R Factor and that was it. So it was good. It really was good. I managed to qualify pole with only 4 IRL laps of. In other words, like I did 1 lap of practice and 4 laps in qualifying, and I qualified pole. But I was the only person using a simulator in F3 in Australia at the time, doing R Factor around the street circuits of Adelaide. So I had it wired into my brain pretty well where I needed to go. I was just hoping, there wasn't, being a street circuit, there wasn't a new random bump or something in a spot that I wasn't expecting. But it actually did work wonders, and it was amazing to see the whole industry just go towards using simulators all the time. I was on a G25 back then. That was great.
Yeah.
Still works. I've got it.
Someone who's not driving on a G25 is Dennis Strelnikov at the moment. Just coming around the final corner is going to look to get past Morella in the Audi. I don't think he's going to get there though. Not far off, only 4 100ths, and I think Philip has knocked the smash the nail on the head there. The idea is to do something not involving motorsport, to not burn yourself out, and that's right. Some esports drivers, they're crazy enough to do other motorsports, and Nick is clarifying that I had half read the question right. Outside of competitive competition, are they driving Forza, are they driving Gran Turismo, or do they compete in other esports? I guess it really depends on the driver. I don't know of any others. I know a couple of drivers in here, do just some iRacing stuff, whether it's competitive events or just some driving outside of ACC.
Yeah,
I don't really do that, but
I know Pip is a mad Tekken player.
Yeah,
I see her at all the events that we have Tekken at. I run esports and gaming events in Australia, and Pip's regularly coming to the same ones that I'm at, so it's good to see her out there. And generally, if you are a bit of a gamer, I mean, you might go and play something else, but some people are just motorsport people, so their chill out thing is, go hang out with the family or kids or watch some TV, that sort of thing. Not just because you're into motorsport. This is probably one of the sports that you might be less interested in other, say, shooters or MOBAs or MMOs, that sort of thing, because it's such a unique thing, because it has the real life translation. It's often you might be you can be just into this, where often gamers are into like 5 or 6 or 20 games these days, especially now that so many games are free. People who are gamers tend to be into everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone who's into something, Morella's into going faster, does go faster.
Oof.
So Strelnikov has given in. So drivers just coming and finishing their laps as qualifying is over. That's a great lap there from Morella, just to really solidify that P2, as Kobe Chan's currently matching his delta. So can he go faster? I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the hairpin now. Slipstream from Ferrari, that was too much curb. Yep, too much curb. That compromises the exit. But Slipstream could help him. Probably not a lot, though, because I think he's quite close enough. It's not really long enough straight. Let's have a look down into Crocodiles, what he's going to do. Early on the brakes. He's trying to go for that wide line. He's gone deep, and
So,
that'll be
caught
invalid.
traffic,
Yeah.
I was going to
But,
say,
I mean, he's still pole.
Chan is just that fast, and he's showing he can do it consistently too, because he's like within a tenth. That is amazing. Like that is that's scary. He is a long way ahead. This is the first time we've had a gap like this whole series in either Group A or B.
Yes.
It's been exceptionally tight, and it still is exceptionally tight because from second all the way down to 15th is about a second.
Yeah.
So that's very tight. You just ignore that Chan's there. That
Yeah,
much
just
faster than
Chan.
everyone.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
field is going to be a tight race, I think.
Yep. So dry start to the race. Nick Prender, they're just dumbing it down for me even more. What are people doing? Not esports. We're not doing esports races. Do they do esports races elsewhere or just casual driving? Depends on the driver, I guess. There's obviously the big boys. You've got your James Baldwins, your Dara McCormacks, your Ferris Stanleys. You've got who else? Moritz Lerner. You've got it's going to kick me in a minute. Dane Warren and I'm an absolute Josh Rogers. That's the one. You've got them on iRacing, Ren Sport. Dane Warren's done ACC in the past. They're doing esports stuff. They're not there for casual things, but more of the Oceania people, esports or not, or high up in OR and things like that. They're doing casual races in their spare time, but of course, main focus is, of course, the Sprint Series or GT3 Cup or the Endurance Series, if that's all your way inclined. So it's just a mixed bag. Others are just either casual driving and just having a go. I mean, you can't really complain about that. You can only give it a go.
Connor says, "Look at all the McLarens in the top 10."
Yeah, it's pretty good, and I. Yeah,
it's they've been struggling big time. They really have been. I've
yeah.
yet to see them do well at almost any track so far. The best I think I saw them was last weekend.
I'll be waiting for the finals. You'll see a couple of McLarens come out there, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That will be. I think you'll see a few people make a couple of switches. Of course, if anyone's unfamiliar to the rules, between the qualifying and knockout stages, you could change car, and then between the upcoming break between knockout and final stages, you can also make a car change for that part of the GT3 Cup. So we will see some drivers, I dare say, make a change. I know a couple of drivers, I won't reveal their secrets, obviously, that are going to make a change. Change things up a bit, drive something else. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
There you go. So you got Paul Ricard there for round one of the finals. We've still got Nürburgring, of course, next week for the last round of the knockouts. You got Suzuka there, round two of the finals. Valencia, round three. Bathurst, I mean, that was always going to be in there, wasn't it, for the final round four. And then you got Monza round five. We haven't seen Monza for, I don't want to know how long we haven't seen Monza in OR. I think it's been a good year that we've seen Monza. And then, of course, Spa to finish off at the final. So I'll be looking out. Not that I want to give too many things away, but of course you want to help out those that.
That's a lot of straight lines there.
Themselves.
That's what I'm going to say. There's a lot of straight lines at those tracks.
Yes, yeah. No, you'll probably look to see probably some Audis in there. Season 9 for Monza. Wow, yeah. So over a year ago now. Early last year. January of last year was season 9, I believe. So yeah, I'd be looking out for probably some Audis in there, McLarens, Mercedes. I reckon there'll be a real mixed bag. You probably won't see many Porsches. You might see a few Lambos, a couple of M4s, some Ferraris, but yeah, I think you'll be looking to probably see some McLarens and Audis and Mercs will be the top three, I reckon.
So what makes the McLaren faster?
It just seems to, it's been good on the straights. obviously there's BOP involved, so it's a bit track dependent as well. Ones like Bathurst, I don't know, it just has seemed to be fast, you know. Obviously, the big esports people are driving with traction control off, which is just disgusting. I'm going to put it out there now.
Wow.
It's revolting. But it just, you know, it's a good, stable car. And if you know how to push the limits of it to get that extra time, why wouldn't you? You know, it's good over the tracks that are in that calendar. Spa, it's good. Bathurst, it's good when you've got the right setup. Of course, setup is a big part of it as well. And the driver, there's about 400 different variables. But yeah, that's sort of the ones I'd be looking to see in the top choices for the finals. And if we don't, I'll be thoroughly upset.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is second to last round of the knockouts. We've got one more round after this, and that is next weekend, if I'm correct. Yeah, we don't have any more breaks. Yeah,
next Friday, off to the Nürburgring. Cannot wait for that.
I believe Malik was saying it's going to be a dusk event too.
Ooh.
So that will be a bit of fun, a bit of different conditions. As we've got everyone nicely formed up. I want to see them close up that gap a little bit at the front there. Make sure you nose to tail. I always hate it when the person in front of me, from years of karting, you used to just push them forwards. You got a plastic nose cone on, so you just drive into the back of them and push them up forwards. Be like, get up there. Oh, hang on. Don't get in position. That's it. You know, you just try to get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, no, it's certainly not where you want to be. Coming around the final corner now. Ooh, bit aggressive there. Needs to get in line. Double file they go. Wait for the green. Can't wait to see this.
This is going to be tight. Do you want to take us away?
Yeah, can do. We'll go green in just a second here. We've gone green. That was a good start from Chan. Good start there from Stronikov. Kyrudin saw it coming as well. Morella moves across on Chan. He's going to go later on the brakes, I reckon, in that Audi. Ooh, doesn't though. He's going to move to the inside. He's got to watch Stronikov there, though. Round turn one. Nice clean from our point of view here. 3 wide. That's not how it works. That's not how you should do it. That's Kyrudin. He's off. I think that was Ethan Carl involved there as well. And Ethan Carl's tapped the Porsche around. Oh, no. I'm smelling. Yep. Say there's going to be a safety car. Oh dear. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
I feel this. Oh, no. It's still piling on.
Ooh, that's. I don't want to call it too early, but I'm smelling a hefty penalty here.
Yeah, I got a feeling they didn't realize they were 3 wide there. 1 or 2 drivers in that 3 wide didn't realize that they were 3 wide and there was not 3 wide worth of space left. So someone got pushed skyward, and they were all alongside each other, so they were all fair game for fighting, but they just, I really do think you just get that in motorsport. You leave the 2 wide space when you should have left the 3 wide space, and someone gets squished and everyone touches and the chaos starts. So that's a really unfortunate moment, but unlike Group A, who had an amazing start, beautiful. It was very, very clean race for the first 30 minutes or so of the race. There was little to no drama at all. It's only towards the tail end once some people got a bit impatient trying to do some moves that they shouldn't have. But yeah, that can't all be clean. We're packing up the things. Do you think we'll go for a lap around? Here we go. We're going to get a replay.
Yep. So we saw that's Kale on the outside. That's that's a tap. Yeah, that's a tough one because we just see. So Kale comes back on the rejoin there. That's Kyrene at the back, and Kale just taps around. I can't quite work out who that Porsche might be. So there's Kale once again. Oh, that might be Brad Cook. That might be who that is, actually. Yes, and they've given him a tap. Yeah. And yep, that's definitely Cook. So, oh dear, he's going to have some hefty damage.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for the Porsche there. He's doing everything right. He just got pushed and then got ricocheted around like a pinball.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing Brad Cook could have done there. He was just a passenger in that one. So Barbecue's a really deceiving corner as well. So I think we're back racing now. Yeah, was virtual. We are running the virtual safety car. So we're back racing now. Stronikov does have Morella behind. Did manage to get past him early on there. So nice restart there from Chan. Ethan Kale on the back of Chris Taylor, but I think Ethan Kale might know what's coming his way. Down the deceiving left-hander. I think a lot of drivers underestimate that left-hander, just how much it really tightens on you. And then through the S's here, don't take too much curb, or else you'll do what I did and go off. Kale, is going to look to the outside. This will be an interesting one. Let's see. Ooh, maybe. Yes, no, maybe.
Wow.
Can't pull that one off. Taylor has really good defense there, just pushing Kale a little bit out wide, causing the bad exits. Now he's going to have Ben Piper just maybe come in and say hello. Wants to get away from Spinazzi pretty quickly, I dare say. Bachtold wants to catch up on this. Has got Jake Brown behind. Kai Ruden's dropped back, as you can see there, P13. So he's got a little bit of places to make up over the next 56 minutes. More than possible. Plenty of time to do it.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of a long train here that has formed. It is only really the first green flag lap, but yeah, no one's really pulled away too much. We've got a nice file of cars coming along. Do you find it's hard to overtake here, or is it not too bad? Or has we got a moment there in the middle?
Look, it's a tough one because in most cars, this is me being biased towards the Ferrari again, it's reasonably straightforward. Turn one's a pretty good one if you've got a good run, have slipstream. Wouldn't recommend going through Barbecue where we've just gone through there. Sunset, you can risk it if you think you've got the capability to keep it side by side with the driver. Final corners are usually another good opportunity if you can get a good run through Cheetah. The Crocodiles as well, just before Cheetah there's another good place. The only place I found in the Ferrari you can overtake because the brakes are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most, and this hairpin as well, this is always a good opportunity for drivers as well. You might even see Ben Piper just stick the nose out here and does so. Just wants to put that pressure on Ethan Kale, who's in a really rough position here because he wants to push up on Chris Taylor, but needs to keep Piper in mind. But what he'll be wanting is Spinazzi to get onto the back of Piper. But this is a tough one because Spinazzi doesn't have any pressure as of yet from Kai Ruden. He might have a bit of damage, which could be causing problems. Jake Brown looked like he had a bit of damage there too, looking at his Porsche. So all to play for here. That might come into the pit stops as well, having to repair some damage.
Yeah, we go all four wheels off the track there on the exit of Cheetah. Oh, and then wide again. Does the game simulate dirt on tyres quite well? It's something I know something like that in real life would make your next corner very, very hard to get around. As we're starting to see the battle
Sure does
continue on
simulate
to turn
dirt.
one. Yeah, it does. So
Yeah, probably not as well as I would have thought. But yes, it definitely does simulate dirt. You do lose a bit of grip for a couple of corners before you hear the dirt sound effects just disappear. And you know you're back in the game.
that's right. That's that tip that I hear from all sim racers. Turn that tyre volume up to as loud as it can possibly go and try and turn down the engine if you can. If your game lets you do that. It's very important to listen to the tyres since you can't rely on feel like you can in real life. Got that sound to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true in ACC, and I
Yeah, you reckon
wouldn't
you
usually
feel
put an opinion like that out. Yeah,
Yeah?
I think depending on the car, I think most of them you can get a little bit of a feel. Not obviously the full extent you would in real life, but if you've got it right, you can feel. I felt it a little bit. I know a couple of the other drivers can feel it as well. They can feel the tyres not cambering in, understeering, and you can hear them as well. Obviously, you've got the tyre sounds up, but I think you can get that little bit of a feel out of the car, and it's just enough to alert you. Oh, hang on, I'm understeering here, or maybe the fronts are oversteering. As we look to Paulie now, fighting with Steve Lewis.
It's going to try and
Looks to
switch
the
under.
outside.
No,
Ooh,
he's not.
that's not the worst corner to do that, but just can't quite pull it up as Matterford. That was the smart decision there from Matterford to just pull out there.
Walked him up
Cavalli
though.
Get past. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. Steve Lewis is not really going to have much of an opportunity here because you'll see what I'm talking about. He's in slipstream and the Ferrari still is just not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
That
It's not a
Lambo
nice
sounds
feeling.
down.
Yeah, but just make it up in the corner, Steve. Late on the brakes. That's an interesting line. I'm going to be brutally honest, and I
Yeah,
try not
just-
to be brutally honest here, but need a bit more from us here. That's wow. Sweet's right on the back of Rashidi now. He does not want to hang around, trying to put his nose in. He's got Terry Rayton behind, so that's going to be tough. I think Rayton is actually who they were 3 wide with at turn 1, looking at that livery. So they might look into that one, the stewards.
Oh, he's
Right,
off the
that
track
first
though in the mirror. I
Ooh, yeah.
I randomly took
that.
a look at the mirror and I just
think
saw
Has he
Rayton.
had a spin there, has he? Or just almost half lost the car?
All,
So that's,
all 4 wheels, yeah. I
oh
think.
dear.
Yeah. He was in the sand trap, but he was moving though. So
Well, that's better than spinning. So he's one up there. Rashidi, wow, really wild line, Sweet. Oh, you could just see the power of the Ferrari brakes in comparison to the Lambo. Just almost gave him a bit of a kiss there, but coming through Cheetah now. Yeah, that's really nice there from both drivers using all of the track. You can touch a little bit of the dirt if need be, and it's goodbye Lamborghini.
yeah, that's crazy. The difference in the 2 cars, it's quite unique. The way that Ferrari seems to perform, as you were mentioning, just so the lack of band effect really happens.
Ooh.
Oh, big aggressive block there.
Yeah, that's... Oh, he's almost hit Spinazzi there. So this was Chris Taylor. He was fighting with Kale. Kale's gotten past. Now Spinazzi wants a piece. That's Kai Rudin in the background as well, who's gotten past Jake Brown in the past couple of corners. Maybe a mistake there. So Kale's going to need to run away as quickly as possible here. Chris Taylor's going to want to hold on. Kai Rudin's going to want to get a bit involved in this one. Take that back. Kai Rudin's behind. That's Bachtold. They have similar liveries. What a silly mistake.
That's all right. It's
Get
the
that.
it's the wall of shields there in the middle anyway. They're all the Porsches all bunched up together in 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. I wonder if they're got a secret plan and they're on a chat together or.
Yeah. Well, no, I think
Okay.
it's the big thing really is if you can try and I would have thought the overcut would have been the best. I mean, look at the damage on those 2 cars. No wonder they're
Yeah.
going a bit slower than what you'd expect. They've got that damage on the front. Brown's got some damage on the rear. I don't think Kyrudin's got so much on the rear. They've got Jacob Fleming not too far behind either. So all to play for here. Dry for the next 30 minutes. So I'd say we'll have a dry race. Car 32's got a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1. So maybe that was Corey Sweet at that turn 1 incident there that went 3 wide. It could have been anyone. Who knows?
Yeah.
But actually, it must have been Corey because
Sweet was
known
on
if
the
it was Terry.
outside, right?
Yeah, and no, he was on the inside in turn 2.
that went inside
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, so well, turn 3 technically, I should.
Yeah,
say.
I was gonna say.
It's, yeah, silly thing, but
Launched
should
the
have
curb
known if it
and
had been
started.
Terry, because you would have seen the thrusted Ferrari if it had been Terry. So not the start that Sweet wanted. He's going to have to serve that one in the pit, and that is certainly not going to be ideal. It's going to drop him a long way down the field. Comes stop. See, maybe even if I was Corey, I'd look to maybe try and pit early and make that time up in clean air, because that's rough.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's got to deal with it, and that will actually put him outside the top 10 if he was to serve that right now too. That's quite a bit of a difference. So we're still on Brown, spinning along in the battle of the Porsches. Here's another
Here's the replay. Yep. So this is.
Okay.
Oh
dear.
oh. Yeah.
Oh dear.
There's a lot going on there.
Sorry, whoever it was that was trying to get past and just kept ramming the side of the car next to in front of him. Oh, it's a big moment there for Brown. Big slide and catch. Keeps it together. Oh, and then hits the curb. Yeah, not a good couple of corners there. Probably losing about half a second or so. End up falling back towards the Ferrari right behind him of Fleming.
I just had a weird brainwave from Nick Prentice's question before about drivers doing other esports series. We do have a driver. I don't think they were here this round. Kurt Stenberg, who is participating in the GT3 Cup, is a top iRacing Supercars driver in the V8 Scop Series. Whether that's a known fact or not, I just came to mind thinking of other drivers who are like that. So if anyone wants to see an ACC GT3 Cup driver in action somewhere else, in a completely different sim and a completely different series, you can check him out over there. So we see Ben Piper now, just in a little bubble at the moment, only a couple of tenths per way, but really wants to try and make some time up here on Carl and get away from Taylor as quickly as possible. Kugali now, front damage, that's a lot. Looks around the outside of Powell. Powell's going to push him wide, I dare say. Ooh, actually tried to leave him. Oh, no. Yep. And that's going to be the wall, and that's going to be a cooked car. Oh, dear.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Just that bit of grass spinning him sideways. It's hard when you're racing hard like that, but we move on to another battle. Real and Gibbs, is it? Or is it Real and Foxtrot? I think it's Real and Foxtrot.
That's Real and Foxtrot. Yep, they've got Gibbons behind, though, in the Pixel Racers Ferrari, so he's just going to stick it in behind. I reckon I'm going to smell a dive here in the Crocodiles. The Ferrari should handle this one. Car 52 drive-through. That was that incident there. That's Ethan Cale tapping the Porsche. I think that's deserved and warranted.
Yeah.
So Gibbons pulled that one off nicely through Crocodile's there. Just snuck that one through while we're looking at the penalty. Yep, Real jumps into the pits. That's a bold strategy, but I like it. Oh, dear.
Yeah,
there's a McLaren in the background that's round.
I did see that. Yeah, it
was that Matterford?
I think it
Yes.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Come in the pits, yep.
Yeah, that's a good move. So they're going to come into the pits. 45 minutes left, so they're going to have to jump on heavy fuel load, but could benefit them in the long run if they can just keep it clean, maybe make up some time. Won't be doing faster times, but if the consistency's there, I don't see why that's not a bold strategy. So we see Taylor now. That's Cale. He went a little bit wide there. Kept it on track, though. So these three are in their own little battle, but Cale does have the drive through to serve, so that's going to put him out of the running pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of battle happening all through down the pack here. So the field's probably a lot more spread out than it was in Group A at this point of the race because of these intense battles of lots of side-by-side where we were having chats about F1 and all sorts of things during the race because everyone was single file and just pumping out really fast lap times. It was totally different race. This has been exciting from Group B. Down the mine shaft. That's right. It's called the mine shaft, right?
It sure is mine shaft. This is mine shaft here, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, mine shaft is
yes, mine shaft is there. Or
and Crocodile.
Gibbons, Crocodiles. Just looking on Foxtrot there. That's a bright livery from Foxtrot. That's almost a Mitchell Bendai spec livery there. He'd be happy to see that one out on the grid for Danman Racing. Oh, Daneth Man. Oh, I can read. Even better. So down the front straight through turn 1, but I call garbage that's turn 1. Car 22's got a 10-second penalty for causing collision on lap 6. And car 22 is somebody that my eyes are deceiving me. Ah, there we go. Ramez Samuel. So copped a penalty there. Yang at the back there as well also has a 15-second penalty. They've already pitted those, so they don't need to serve those unless they pit again. They'll serve those in the pit stops. We see Kai Rudin now coming up behind Spinazzi, trying to defend as hard as possible, but Kai Rudin needs to make up the time that he lost from that unfortunate incident after turn 2. Yeah, he's going to look the inside. I think he's going to pull this one off. Have a look at this. Okay, great camera work there, game. Thank you. Fantastic. Yep, round the inside. Spinazzi's going to have the better exit. He just tucked it in there. That's nice, but it's not over yet. I'm smelling a dive from Spinazzi here because he had the better run, and I wouldn't blame him if he tried to go for it. Kai Rudin defends nicely, and Spinazzi just backs off. Maybe looking for the early apex. No, can't pull it off. So Kai Rudin's just nailed that perfectly. Couldn't ask for anything better.
I think the smart play is to just sort of tuck in and let Kai Rudin pull you along a little bit. You know, see if you can sneak a draft, pinch a couple of lines off of him because he should be a bit further up the field than he is right now. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
him storm along.
All the drivers. Let's have a look at the replay again. This is Foxtrot and Gibbons. Gibbons sneaks it up the inside.
Oh. Okay. Oh no.
Oh.
he tried to let himself roll off the track, but the car behind had committed to that line. There we go. What happened here? Oh, big.
So
little...
Foxtrot missed them. Yeah, exit.
Oh,
Broke.
shit.
Ooh, that's. Ooh, that's. Ooh.
That's a bit awkward. That's
I'm going to
just a
leave
bit
that to the
awkward.
stewards. That one. That's. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to call.
It became
Anyway.
that car became a mobile chicane for a bit there. That's what happened, really.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused why Foxtrot was braking, but anyway, we'll move on. Steve Lewis currently fighting in this little battle pack with Foxtrot Pow for P15. Of course, provisionally that'll be a bit further down once the pit stops take effect. Oh, look to the inside there, did Powell, just trying to stick the nose in, put the pressure on Foxtrot. He's doing okay. Powell to put the pressure on, but Foxtrot's dealing with the pressure reasonably well. He's in a Ferrari, being surrounded by Ferraris is Powell at the moment, so he'll probably want to get out of there pretty quickly. But he knows he'll be able to probably mug the Ferrari on the straight. That looked a bit late there from Powell. That's why I had a bit of a internal panic for about half a second there. Down through Mineshaft they will come. Powell can't probably look for a lot here, especially with the Ferrari on the braking, but if he can get the better exit, nice brakes, he might be able to mug the Ferrari on the straight, but it's going to be a tall order, especially when he's that far back. But I think he doesn't need to worry about Lewis, especially on the straight. That's a mistake from Foxtrot, so this is going to be the opportunity for Powell. Might not need the straight. Sticks it up in there. Foxtrot was generous with the room, so Powell's going to get the side draft here anyway, and he's going to get the straight line, I reckon. Ooh. That's okay. Hang on a minute. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Must be a lower wing from Foxtrot, I reckon, maybe.
Much lower. He just drove away in the other Ferrari from behind too.
Oh, that's Steve Lewis again. He's got to look to the inside. Can't quite pull anything out. Jeez, there's a lot going on here. Oh, looks to the inside. Just power. Oh, that's a big shunt. Goodness. Massive shunt. Massive shunt. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
My God. Oh, why does it have to be the split I commentate, Justin?
I don't know. Yeah, the driving standard book got thrown out in the bin for this one. There's been a lot of
I mean, Giuseppe will be happy, but
yeah. I was gonna say he actually sort of just drove the race line, and there was two cars parked on the outside of the corner, and he clipped them on the way through.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe Chan though, on the other hand, well, he's just having a Sunday lunch, isn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's just driving around nice and slowly. We were talking about what type of public transport driver you'd want to be at this point of the race when you guys were driving around in a single file everywhere, but that's I assume he's just on a Sunday bus drive. So
yeah, it must be. Let's break this down again. So Power went up the inside. Okay, sure, that was an optimistic move, but Foxtrot gave him the room, couldn't pull it up, and then Giuseppe Ricci's just come through and just giving him that tap there. Not, yeah, that'll be
that's going to be hard to call.
So here's Giuseppe Ricci's point of view. So that's Steve Lewis in the white Ferrari. So Power goes down the inside, late on the brakes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think Giuseppe's at fault there.
No, he just drove. Yeah.
Yeah, just I think he was a bit put off by that. I'm just completely understandable. I can understand being put off by that. No, I think he just couldn't quite get the car turned. So wait to see the stewards' deliberation on that one. I reckon I'll give that a bit of time before we see any sort of result there.
Yeah.
Kobe Chan, though, is seeing results straight away. Almost 25 minutes into the race, 12 laps in. Plenty of time ahead from Strelnikov, who's a chunk ahead of Morella now. And he 1.6, so that's a pit stop mistake there for Strelnikov to let Morella pass if that's going to happen. But I don't think he wants that. 5 seconds to Strelnikov. Chan's got, I mean, that's in 25 minutes, that's just having an old Sunday drive, isn't it, really, for someone like him?
No, he is absolutely just walking away with this one. But, yeah, again, same as your race. The top three sort of all spread out. We did have Pip and
Tan.
I was going to say my brain was wanting to say Chan, but it wasn't. I was like, no, it's not
almost.
Chan. It's Tan. Yes.
Tan.
And they they had a interesting strategy swap. Really, was all it was. 10 waited for Pip to pit and then absolutely pumped. I think Pip got sight blocked on the way into her pit bay. Someone was leaving the pit bay right in front of hers and sort of drove off, and she half
Pip got
faced through him.
dropped by the pit team members. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay. What is
Yeah.
Describe what that means.
So you're not lining the car. It's just the car wasn't quite lined up in the pit stop box area. So ignition off. If you're not in a reasonable spot for a pit stop, it actually moves you to the perfect spot. Sometimes it moves you and it does a pit stop. Other times, depending on how far you are, it will move you there, but then drop you off the jacks per se, and then pop you back up. That's 5 seconds gone easily.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
that's wow.
Yeah, she went into the pits about a second up and came out 1.7 behind, so it was a bit rough, unfortunately.
Yeah, was not ideal for Pip. Now here is Kai Rudin, who's in an ideal position. I mean, he's got a 10-second penalty though, and I don't recall seeing what that was for.
Oh, that was for into turn 5, 6, I think it was.
Oh,
because he was the one that caused the next little pile of spinning.
debacle. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I was Kai Rudin, I'd be probably looking to pit soon. Of course, depending on fuel. If he can try and get in some clean air, he might be able to make up the time. He's looking for the slipstream on Taylor, and I think he's going to go for this.
Big dive.
Big dive indeed. Pulled it up beautifully, though. Chris Taylor was a bit generous there. Still trying to sit in the inside, and Kai Rudin gets past perfectly. So, got Ben Piper up ahead, only a couple of seconds up the road. So, is this the time to use the clean air for, the second and a half that he's going to get up there, or is it time to pit? There's under 35 minutes to go now. So, what do you do? You'll see probably some more drivers pit. Those 4 down the bottom there are the only ones. There might be a couple of hidden ones down there as well that have pit. The rest haven't taken their mandatory yet. So I think they're all waiting out close to the half an hour point as possible. There you go. So there's 5, 6 drivers down there that have pit. So they'll look to try and capitalise on the very early pit stop to maybe make up some positions. Chris Taylor, though, he'll be one. Maybe he needs to look to pit now. He's got the slipstream from Kai Rudin, but Kai Rudin's got the penalty, so he would probably want to be one to get away from that position. We just see Mike Crick now. Oh, that's a blue... No, it's not a blue flag. That's Ramez Samuel just trying to get through there. So Crick's down a position. This will be Kai Rudin with...
It's going to be awkward.
Taylor. Oh, yeah, I reckon Mike Crick... Yeah.
He just didn't want to be in the way, so he just... And then he saw the nose get pointed, and he's like, oh, that means you're going to shove it up the inside. Let me just drive it off the track for you. So that's what I feel that ended up being. A bit of a...
Yeah.
Do you want to go here? Oh, fine. Crap, let me get out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ray Yang does a 15-second penalty. He's only 2 seconds ahead of Matterford, so much to probably his not happiness. He's probably going to be provisionally last at the moment, but still plenty of time for anything to happen. We might see some people start to pit. 33 minutes to go, so I think everyone's trying to push on the first set of tyres as much as possible so they can really use up those second set they jump onto for the second stint. Terry Rayton here, best lap 41.4, currently sat 41.42, so somewhat consistent laps, probably not as consistent as I know Terry would like it to be, but maybe this is the opportunity to pit if the tyres are starting to go off, or maybe he's just, getting a little bit flustered, might be, on some higher fuel, might be trying to push longer, so some strategy calls need to come in for the drivers.
Yeah, it's are there many drivers running with like a pit wall sort of guy, like someone in their ear telling them what's going on with the race?
Chief. Some of them might run Crew Chief, external program that you can use to get some rough fuel calculations and tell you where drivers are, who's pitting, things like that. I don't know if it's as advanced in ACC as it is in iRacing. I know it's more advanced than it used to be. So there could be some drivers using that. to assist them. You can use, whatever you like. That's no cheating there. There's nothing, really gained. It's just providing you with what it thinks is the optimal strategy. Thurks now, another fellow commentator, currently P15. Rayton and Bachtold have jumped into the pits, so some movers there. They're going to look to try and maybe capitalise on a bit of an undercut. Of course, that first out lap and first lap after the pits and then first flying lap are usually a bit on the slower side, so wanting to get that way out of the early and start doing some consistent fast laps to maybe try and make up some positions on some drivers.
Yeah, so I've asked everyone else I've had in the commentary box with me, do you think the overcut's more powerful or the undercut? Or where's the transition? Is it... from what I've seen from these guys and girls, is it feels like if you're going to do... You can do 2 laps for an overcut, and that's the maximum. Once you get to 3-4, especially in an hour-long race, where you've done 30 minutes on your tyres, then it starts to be that the fresh tyres are a bit quicker and they start reeling that gap in. Is that about what you found? If you're going
it's a hard one, because the strategy that I was sort of with was just sort of seeing where the driver in front of me was going to pit. He pit a lap before I did, and I'd already planned. I didn't have the fuel to go another lap after when I pitted anyway. I think the sort of 1 to 2 lap window of the people around you pitting, it's not, in my opinion, the most effective time to pit unless you have to because of fuel. Because you're running still a similar strategy. So, I'm going to pit lap, what are we? I'm going to pit lap 16 as Morella pits on lap 17. And say he was behind Stronikov. So Stronikov might pit next lap. They're going to come out on the same strategy technically anyway, because Morella's going to be on slightly warmer set. They're going to be slightly worn in, whereas Stronikov's going to come out that 1 lap later on those brand new tyres, and he's got to wear them in. But slowly you're going to end up doing the same times after 2 to 3 laps anyway. So if you're going to commit to a strategy, you need to commit to it. And 2 laps is probably not enough.
Not enough.
If you want to do an overcut, I'd be 3 after the driver, sure. That's when you can start to go, okay, that's an overcut. You've got to commit. That's just essentially what it is. If you don't know and you've overfueled, if you think, oh, okay, I'm actually going to do an overcut at the start of the race, and then you get to half an hour, this is... I think this is Thurkalini down the inside. Goes Morella in the ears. That's Gibbons behind as well. Thurkalini, should back off here. Hasn't. Because he's not fighting for position, because he's still got a pit, but Morello pulls that one off, and Gibbons is going to look to the inside here and lets Gibbons past. That's probably a smart move. Saw he was going faster, so it's just let that one happen. Maybe Thurkalini is going to come in this lap. But... yeah, I think Stronikov, Piper, and Karudin are all in the pits now, so Karudin's going to have to serve that 10-second penalty for the collision around Sunset here and down in here. So not really going to change things up other than drivers coming up a position. Kobe Chan's just having a good old chill. He can do whatever strategy he wants. Probably going a bit longer, considering the M4 tyre wear is pretty... subpar at most tracks. Really got to be careful of the rear tyres, especially as you can see there. Even the fronts, he's just gone a bit wide there. Of course, another thing we haven't mentioned is track limit warnings is another big one here if you're not careful.
Yeah, we saw one driver getting a drive-through in Group A for track limits. We haven't seen one yet, although we still are only just past the halfway point, so very possible. There's definitely a lot of time to be had by clearing some curbs though here and using all of the track on the exit. They've got very generous outside curbing and runoffs, so yeah, we tend to see drivers using that a bit.
Steve Lewis,
a little battle.
Jake
Here we
Brown.
go. Oh no,
Jake jumped back a bit, so that was a bit too generous, I reckon, there from Brown. I think he should have fought Lewis there. I reckon Lewis probably would have given in. I think Brown must have repaired the damage since he's bit further back than he was before. Of course, some drivers still need to pit, so that could bring him up. Down the straight now, you'll see the slipstream effect on the Porsche with the
Yeah,
See,
that's
and probably under
fair.
brakes too. But you've just got to be careful. Big one, I think you'll find, yeah, he's gone deep because he hit his normal braking point, had the slipstream, didn't quite see that he was going a bit faster than what he's used to. So let's just see through barbecue what's going to happen here. That's a tighter line from Brown that's going to compromise the exit and does. Hits the grass as well. Kobe Chan's decided to jump into the pits. He's just about to come out. He's just served the stop. Strelnikov's come out. He's going to be nowhere near Chan anyway, so I don't think Chan's really going to worry about that too much as Brown looks down really tough on the brakes there. Too much curb. That's going to, again, compromise the exit. So Brown's pushing, but he's pushing too hard. In my opinion, he's just trying to hit what he thinks might be the fastest way around. It doesn't necessarily make him the fastest. That's a nice run through there, though. That's going to be a warning. Oh, that's very bouncy. The suspension on the Porsche is unrealistically bouncy. In fact, you can just see there, even at bouncing on the curb there. So he's going to be pushing quite hard. He's Brown at the moment to try and make up anything. The two drivers behind him have penalties anyway, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's really, really just driving it like a go-kart a bit. It's just hopping and skipping and using all the track and some on just about every single corner. Little squirt away there from the Ferrari in front, but quick through here and a big time gain under brakes there and pretty decent exit as well. See if you can get in that slipstream once again. Not going to be close enough at the end of the straight, but it's going to...
No, he's going to stick the nose in, though. Maybe I'll be going left. Let's see what he's done. Ooh, I know that's a bold strategy that Brown's actually going for, and I like it. It's very bold. He's waiting for that later apex, hoping that Steve's going to go deep. Isn't as of yet. That's a nice run through there, in fact. That's a beautiful run. He's going to look to the outside of Sunset. Yeah, here we go. If Brown can pull this off, this would be move of the week.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and I reckon he might pull this one off.
He will.
Keep it within track limits. Oh, yes.
Oh, that was nice.
Wow. Lovely. Someone put that on the move of the week. That is... Wow, I know that's a sprint series, but wow. That's great.
Yeah, that's literally, got the new sticky tires on, go around the outside, Days of Thunder style sort of thing. That was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Taylor going for a long strategy here in the Ferrari back, told... Lost out to Kai Rudin now, who has served that 10-second penalty in the pit, so dropped him a fair chunk back. He's going to get 2 positions, so he's going to be looking for a top 10, but he's a chunk away from Spinaze, who he was fighting with earlier, so he's going to be probably a little bit upset about that, but just got to keep pushing on. Here is Corey Sweet, who's also served that 15-second time penalty he had for the little 3-wide incident through here. So coming through barbecue now, currently sat P something 9 according to this, 85 ahead, so that would be correct. He's got Spinaze behind. Still can salvage a good finish here, can Corey, if he can just get those tyres up to temp quick enough. Of course, the overcut might be effective if running lower fuel with newer tyres. So maybe that's a good strategy from Corey, especially when he's got that penalty, but... still got 23 minutes to find that out.
Yeah, Corey Sweet coming off of a 4th place in the race 1 last week, so wanting to be a little bit further up than he is this time. Again, the start of the race was so chaotic. I think there's a lot of drivers out of position where they would want to be.
Yeah. He's been a fairly consistent finisher though, Corey. He's usually within the top 10 lurking somewhere. Even top 5s, you say, had P4 race 1 last week. Can't remember where he was in race 2. But, I mean, he's always there, Corey. You've even, you see him in the sprint series. He's usually, top 10, sometimes up there easily in the top 5. So, I mean, that's just how Corey does it. Chris Taylor, currently P1, but provisionally a fair chunk down. Might still be in the top 10, I dare say. So I'd be looking to pit sooner rather than later if I was him. Track temps have come down a degree. He's just getting past one of the blue flag drivers. That is Brendan Pauly in the Aperture Science Lamborghini. Down through mine shaft now. The Lambo's even bouncing a bit through there.
Okay, so we actually do have a portal themed one because Elite Alex and I were having a chat last time about in your series there was someone that looks like a very Portal themed car. Oh, this is tight. Here we go.
I'm hoping that Brown doesn't send Mike Real through a portal. I can tell you that. Brown's going to look for the switchback. Yeah, no, Real saw that one coming from a galaxy away and just moved over nicely to block that move. Brown,
Thinking about it, but that wasn't on.
No, bad exit. Real needs to capitalise, get away quickly. Steve Lewis is probably lurking in on this too, maybe waiting for an incident, not sure as of yet. Sunset, look how late Porsche can be on the brakes, really decent through Sunset there, nice and planted, which is unusual to see from a Porsche. Oh, late on the brakes is Brown forced to go as Real slams those on.
It's looking so much quicker. He's trying to just constantly avoid hitting the back of the Macca there in front. This is really fast here from the Porsche.
Absolutely. He might not necessarily be going faster, but he's definitely pushing a lot harder than Real, which is going to have a negative effect on his tyres. As you can see, even Steve Lewis is just trying to get his nose in on this one. Bad exit again for Brown, as Real's just nailed that nicely. Doing well in the McLaren 42.6 fastest lap. They've got back told a fair chunk up ahead. So Brown's going to look for a dive here. Yeah. I reckon he's going to pull this. And he's held it. That was nice. I think Real was a little bit too generous. If I was him, I'd have been turning in a little bit earlier just to try and put the pressure on. He's going to go. Everyone's going to hit the dirt. Steve Lewis didn't want to go. Oh, my goodness.
What's happened there?
That was really good awareness from Brown. That was wow. And I think Real's about to get absolutely mugged here after that mistake. I think Real just completely forgot what his brakes are. But I mean, look at the straight line speed of that car compared to the Ferrari. He half span, and still almost didn't let the Ferrari through. But Steve Lewis has come through. So Jake Brown needs to scamper away pretty quickly if he's going to have any hope of sticking in the position that he wants now. So we still see Kobe Chan still leading. It's got Stronikov behind. Morella's there too. So good, nice spread overall. Even Lewis is looking to the inside of Brown, but just can't get that Ferrari turned in how he'd like it to with the speed that he wants. So coming down through to the S section now. Oh, the exit there from Brown was just sublime, really nicely pulled up. A bit early on the turning, but Brown's had a bit of a slide. So is Lewis on the entry. There's a lot going on here. What can they do?
Yeah, Brown is just driving the wheels off that Porsche at the moment. It's driving like he stole it. If there was ever was a time to use that expression, it's now. He's absolutely pushing every second corner. The car's
Can we get a police check on him?
Yeah, I know. There's like a 5 or 10 degree slide on the car just about every corner. So really pushing the limits of the car. Had a little bit of a white flag there. Does someone have
I don't know what it was thinking. It might have been a bit maybe it had a moment thinking someone was being a bit slow. Corey Sweet's in a bad position at the moment. He's got Chris Taylor right up his trumpet. Terry Rayton will be loving life at the moment knowing that Corey has Chris behind. But Terry's in a own little bubble at the moment. It's got 3.7 to Piper. Piper's had a great race so far, making up some good positions, making use of the other drivers with their serving of their penalties. Steve Lewis, oh my, that was an interesting line that Lewis is taking into turn one, really just trying to aim for the apex rather than maybe just turning in a bit later than like the other drivers would be. And there you go, just touches the grass a little bit there, pushing a touch too hard maybe, just trying to get through up to Brown. So this is Gibbons now. He's just looking on Mike Real. Can he get anything done? Nice and early on the power, pulls it up nicely. Let's see what he can do through here. He's going to be better on the brakes because Ferrari things. What's going to happen through the S's? Theoretically, the Ferrari should be faster here, but Gibbons might need to back off and does. Real gets a little bit slidey. Can Gibbons nail the exit? No. The car did not want to turn in there, so he's going to be in a bit of agony trying to get past.
Yeah, it's amazing seeing the totally different setups on some of these cars. Like, he absolutely nailed the left-hander there, and then when he turned right, it just didn't go. It just had a big delay, and then it went, and he was sort of half a car wider than he wanted to be through that whole right-hander. As he's gonna step the nose down here.
Yep.
Oh, big dive. Oh, they're turning in.
Yeah, that was very aggressive from Real. I like that. So Gibbons have to give that one up. That was perfectly done from Real there, just to give him a bit of false sense of security.
Yeah,
Now
nice.
coming down, final corner. That's done well for Real because now he's just going to scamper away on the straight. I mean, it's just over 15 minutes to go now. Drivers definitely going to be in their groove. Here is Kobe Chan, our leader, currently fastest lap 40.4. Of course, fastest up the race. He's still doing mid-40s, which is just insane to be doing in the race at this point, especially with some worn tyres. Did pit a bit later than those higher up, of course. 8.2 to Strelnikov. Morales got 6.4 to Strelnikov. So big gaps there at the top three. And then Rashudi's got a fair chunk, 11, 12 seconds basically to Morales. So no real concern for these top three, even 4, 5, I would say top 5, top 6 are in their own little bubbles at the moment. Morales 40.7 fastest lap. So really good lap from him there. 42.1, maybe a bit of a traffic there or a bit of a mistake there from him to do those laps. But I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah, it's again, everyone out the front here's got a bit of a Sunday drive happening here. They're all just cruising around, posting up pretty decent and consistent times. Again, because of the dramas at the start of the race, there's a bit of lap traffic happening. It's not been too bad, I'd say, for these guys and girls. There's we jump on board the Lambo here, which is been a bit conspicuous all race. So here we go.
Gibbons is finally going to get past Real. Pulled that up nicely, Crocodile. Let's have a look at that one again. Wouldn't mind seeing that. I reckon he's going to go for a late move to the right. Yes, and does. Just parks the brakes on magically. That is just perfection. That was pulled up very nicely. But just going to be careful on the straight because Real might have a bit of that slipstream in comparison to the Ferrari. Here's Ben Piper. I mean, so far, he's got to be my driver of the day.
Yeah, it's a big jump up from where he qualified, and also just showing some pretty decent pace. Because when we cross the line, we'll be able to check what sort of lap times he's doing currently. But again, in a nice little position here. He's probably going to end up in this position, barring any massive mistakes from anyone around them.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming through Crocodiles, that looked nice and smooth. Bit of a tap from the car from the curb. That's okay. Through Cheetah now. Let's see how much curb he dares takes. A touch of it. Nice use of the outside curb there. You got to use that to get the most out of the lap time through the final corner now. Nice exit onto the straight. P11, so up to P5. That's an effort. Yeah. That is a brilliant drive. Let's have a look at lap time. 41.5. It almost went fast. This personal best there. So.
Yeah.
He is absolutely on it. He wants to pull that gap from Rayton right out as much as he can. He's got a little bit to Rashuti. Can he catch him in time? I'm not sure. But he's certainly going to give it a red hot go, I dare say.
Yeah, he's going to need about a second a lap to be able to catch the car in front. So it's going to be a big ask. But it can be done. Especially if they drive the wheels off their thing. As we are on board with Fleming now, and Fleming sort of a little bit of a wow, another person moving up the field, 8 positions for Fleming. So
yeah, you can't complain with a performance like that. P19 to P11, still with 13 minutes to go. Oh dear, 213. Who's that? Thank you, Ray Yang. 10-second penalty for causing collision on lap 24. That's reasonably recent. So we might have to get a bit of an iron on that. Ramez Samuel just letting Kobe Chan, our current race leader, through on the straight. Nice sportsmanship there, just letting him come on through down to turn 2. As weird as that is to say, this is turn 2 anyway.
Yeah, is that a track map thing, or is that a thing that we just do? In OI here, because to me, I definitely
wouldn't track map thing.
Oh, really?
This is turn 2. That kink on the straight is technically turn 1.
I don't know if I'd call that a turn, because it's a leisurely like move over to the right sort of thing, Jade. It's I feel like, oh wow, really wide there.
Do you turn the wheel? Yeah.
Yeah. But I also turn the wheel going down a straight if I'm going from a right-hand corner to a left-hand corner too. So,
do you turn the wheel ever so slightly? Yes.
Yeah.
You
So-
you could straight line it.
Could I turn it with my knee? Yes.
Yes.
So
Could I
that's
turn
what.
it with
Yeah.
one pinky finger? Yes, I could.
I've always sort of said if I can turn, if it's the equivalent of a freeway turn where I can just like put my knee on the wheel and just lean on it a little bit, then yeah,
Not a corner. Sorry,
it's not a corner, yeah. But if I have to get my hand up onto the wheel and push it, then it's a turn. But yes, I guess that's the way they do it. So yeah, we'll stop there because the man running the broadcasters matters. I think he's like, it's definitely a turn.
Yeah, he's definitely saying it's a turn, so we'll just have to take his word for it, won't we?
So got heavy weapons guy saying go Stefano.
Bit of support, you'd love to see it.
Yeah, we get a fair bit of that in this series. Got a number of people watching along, and actually just all through OR, we've got people cheering for each other, friends, family, mates, all that sort of stuff. Oh, nice little drift there from Morello, sorry. So I'd say maybe the tires get a little bit off, or he's just getting a bit happy with it. Officially called a kink.
fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
sure.
kink. Yeah, it's Mullick's
Oh,
kink.
he's going to go improve. Oh,
We're gonna go. Yeah, it I guess I can see that, but
yeah, but no.
kinks of people too.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not somewhere you can put a pass on. Put it that way. So
No.
that's also something.
8.1 now. Gap between Stronikov and Chan's just keeping that gap nicely. Stronikov, but Chan's probably just having a good old Sunday drive.
Yeah.
Down Crocodiles. Here's Terry Rayton. Sweet's actually gotten past him, so I reckon there may be a mistake from Terry there because
Yeah.
you were not that close before.
Definitely. And this little bunch is
Ooh.
a little bit tighter.
That was an interesting line there from Crick. Just okay, that's even
Trying
better.
to get everyone out the way, yeah. Trying to get out the way.
Yeah, I mean, Sweet might be on here for a P5 if he can just pull this one out. Let's have a look at the replay. So this is Sweet. That's Rayton there. Just absolutely sent it. That was. Oh, he just. Oh, so he's. Oh.
Alrighto. Okay.
Stewards.
Yeah, that was a little bit of leaning. I'd say that's probably caused a little bit of damage too. Because they definitely bobbled around a bit. You never really know until you tip into the next corner, I guess.
Yeah,
Try to
absolutely.
hope that nothing's broken.
No, nothing can be broken. The Ferrari can handle a little bit of damage, which is always nice for the drivers. So just see how it plays out. 8 minutes to go.
It's just that sort of contact is bringing flashbacks to an IRL race where I had a bit of a touch like that in the previous race, right at the end of the race, and then 3 laps into the next race, I broke in the front right. One of the support control arm bolts broke, and so the front right wheel just didn't do what it should be doing and just collapsed, sort of thing. And I didn't have a right hand wheel pointing the way I wanted, so it was a bit scary, like just coming in, hitting the brakes, and the pressure of the braking just broke it, and bang. So yeah, it's always important if you've had a touch, car in real life, or I mean, this doesn't really happen in the racing, but to replace it, even if you think it looks okay, just go, you know what, it's not worth it busting on me. So
yeah,
I learned that the hard way.
yeah. And what Gewins is learning the hard way is that don't underestimate Steve Lewis.
Yeah, he's just making it hard to get around. I mean, he keeps catching up and then making a mistake and falling behind. So again, Gibbons.
Can Jake Brown get involved here? Maybe. It's a big ask, but I mean, certainly can be done. 8.4 now, the gap between P1 and 2. Morella's dropped back a chunk to Strolnikov. It was 11 seconds earlier to Rashidi, so he's only pulled out 2 seconds as well. Rashidi might have dropped back a bit. Sweet's 3.4 from Piper, so I don't think that's going to be enough to get past with 6 minutes to go, but you never know. You never know.
Really love the different lines to Cheetah there. Like there's the right next to the curb, and then there's the half a car wide sort of approach, and both of
Whether
them.
that's on purpose, though.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if people are giving it a wide berth, or whether they're actually, that is the line they like to take, try and round it out a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Gibbons needs to pull something out here. Currently, he is technically 10th in his current class, because obviously the internationals are in a different class. And Jake Brown's binned it. Let's have a look. Turn, what are we, 1, 2, 3, or turn 4 or something through barbecue, I suspect. So it looks fine through here. And I suspect too much curb.
Oh, just a back.
Oh.
Okay.
That was a nice save. It just locked the rear brakes by the looks of it. Here is a current race leader with 5 minutes to go. Kobe Chan has done absolutely nothing wrong. Consistent the whole time. Led the race from lap 1, other than ignore the pit stop bit. But, I mean, you can't ask for anything better, really.
No, he's just absolutely been on fire and looks untouchable in a class like this. And maybe the front runners in Group A might have given him a run for the money, because he's doing very similar times to what he's doing. But yeah, just head and shoulders above everyone today. In Group B is again Taylor is.
Ooh, that's a good run. I like that.
Very nice.
Yeah, he's going to go later apex just to try and spook Terry a bit. Let's have a look through the S's. Can he get something done? 4 minutes to go. Where's Chan? He's going to come across the line. So he's still going to have 3 laps. I'm not sure what will be done at that point. He's going to stick the nose in. Terry's having absolutely none of it. Has gone deep though, so this is Taylor's opportunity. At least these two will be fair on the straight, because one will have the slipstream. So doesn't affect them too much. Maybe a dive from Taylor down into Crocodiles. I don't know. Might stick the nose out though. Does. That's really late on the brakes from Terry. Pulls it up nicely.
Just applying the blowtorch consistently here, showing the nose, showing himself in the mirrors. Really not giving him a break. Both drivers driving right on the limit there. That was really fast through there by both of them. As the blue flags come out, we'll see if this causes any chaos or if it just nicely gets out of the way, which it does. Well done.
So
Love to see that.
recognising they're battling. Nothing really changed. Taylor had a little bit of a slipstream, which we would appreciate considering it's another Ferrari. And deep into turn 1 he goes, but he can rescue this if he's got to be just about rescues it. It's a bit tough. Now up to barbecue. That's the wrong line, but straightens it up lovingly. That was just lovely considering the entry line he was looking for there. Now down to Sunset. Let's see what can be done here. Earlier turn in. Terry's going to go wide.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that seemed wide the whole way there, missing the apex a bit.
He must have lifted there, I reckon, because that was looking almost guaranteed wide, especially with the way that car is driving. Now through the S's. Nice amount of curb use there, not too much on the inside. Use all the curb on the outside on the exit, and they do that. Don't want to use too much. That'll be a track limit warning. 3 minutes to go now. Coming round the hairpin. That's a bit deep from Chris Taylor, but looking to the exit. Down towards Mineshaft they come now. Nicely done indeed. So Kobe Chan crossed the line just before. So it's going to be the second to last lap he's on. Chris Taylor just cannot get anything on Terry at the moment. Here is Gibbons again, still fighting with Steve Lewis. Down the deceiving left-hander. Is he going to get the exit? No, he's not. He's matched him. I thought he might have had a fast exit, but didn't. That's a wide berth there. Isn't on full power straight away. Couldn't get the car rotated how he wanted it to. Let's have a look at the hairpin at the top of the hill here. Later on the brakes goes Gibbons. A lot later, looking for the better exit. That was a nicely pulled up line, but don't think anything's going to come here. Maybe down after Mine Shaft into Crocodiles if he thinks he's close enough, which he could be. Yeah, Steve's just going to defend that. That was good. Gibbons is going to look for the switchback, but Lewis has defended that absolutely perfectly. So through Cheetah they come now. That's a wide line there from Lewis. So two Ferraris on each other again. Can we see something from Gibbons here? I have no idea.
As we now jump across to a reel, and I believe that's Powell, is it? Right in behind, and then back up to Chan again as we're starting our last lap. And we're ducking and driving. There's passes happening everywhere. There's little two car battles everywhere up and down the field. We're back on Reel and Powell again. And Reel running a bit wide. No, sorry. Brown running a bit wide, sorry. There's these two have been battling a bit this race actually. And oh, we'll just is that just pulling over and letting them pass?
This
No
is
way.
Kobe Chan. So he's on the final lap. So that's Browns. This is tough now because they're going to be on their final lap. They would have had one more had Chan not gotten past them. So this is it now. Real needs to go for this. Chan's on the final lap. Coming down the S as they come now. What is Mike Real going to do? He needs to pull something out of the locker room here. Brown's big mistake. This is going to be it. This is going to be his one chance. Brown's going to stick to the inside. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? And I think Real's going to have this one pulled up. Maybe not.
Porsche just hooked it up.
Oh. I think Real's going to have this one on the brakes, though, down through Mineshaft into Crocodiles, unless Brown's got the guts. I reckon all he might do. The cameraman really don't like it, and he's pulled it up. That was a bit of a tap, but that was just a bit of Rubbins racing. Nice. So here comes Kobe Chan down to the final corner now. Has led since lap 1, minus the pit stop strategy. Very wide indeed. Holy. And deservingly celebrating his win here at Kyalami. Dennis Stronikov did nothing wrong. Started P3 up to P2 past Morella, 13 seconds ahead of him. Great race from him. Here is Morella now. Started P2. First time on the podium, I believe. I could be wrong because my memory's not that good. But P1 in the non-international, in the Australian class, I guess you could say. So very nicely done to him. Rashuti going to come across the line for P4. Another great race from him. Ben Piper, that's Corey Sweet right there. He almost had him. Great race from Ben Piper and Corey Sweet. Great recovery there. Rayton's not too far behind. Taylor's also there. Spinazzi 10 seconds behind. So great racing from all drivers there. Nice little finish. Bachtold's a fair chunk behind Spinazzi. Here is Spinazzi coming across the line now for P9. Nice top 10 finish. Here is Bachtold. That's Mike Crick behind. You can't miss that Nissan anywhere. So nicely done there from Bachtold. Gibbons still trying to fight Lewis. It's going to be a one last attempt if he wants this position, but I don't think he's going to have the opportunity, unfortunately. So this is where it's going to stand. Gibbons gave it everything he had. He was past Lewis at one point, but Lewis managed to just sneak his way back through. So around the final corner they come now. A bit deep from Lewis. Gibbons going to make this run to the line, but it's not going to be enough as Lewis goes P12. Gibbons sticks in P13 for the end of round 3 here at Kyalami for the Simagic GT3 Cup.
Yeah, and to answer your question about Morella, they finished 9th at Silverstone and didn't race Hungary. So,
yep. So Kobe Chan, in fact, does take the win here and the overall win for the international class. Stronikov second in international class and second overall. Morella takes P3 and pole. I say pole, the win in the Australian class. Rashuti there and Piper the top 3 for the Australian class and overall in the top 5. We can look at the silver class. Only 4 drivers. Kobe Chan, Stronikov, Bachtold takes P3 and Yang there in P4 with the 25-second penalty. Oh, great race.
Yeah. Thanks for coming along and commentating commentating.
Commentating.
Man, it's been a
I
long day
speak
for me.
English too.
Yes, I
Yes.
speak English too. But thank you very much after your amazing drive, and I hope to see you doing well again next week, and in the top div for us here. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone out there in YouTube land, for the Motorsport Australia Simagic GT3 Cup, powered by Octane Online Racing. Neil Alexander's been behind the camera and was having a good little chin wag in the thing. Thanks again for Elite Alex.
Legend Series.
Oh, they're
Round
announcing
one.
it. That's right.
Cannot wait. Bahrain Grand Prix. Tune in on Sunday for commentary. There is the silly face of the man himself, Mullock. I didn't realize he was going to do that. And Mick Free's going to be joining him in the commentary box. So cannot wait to see that. So make sure to stick around for that on Sunday. Cannot wait to see the first round of the Legend Series.
Yeah. And thank you very much for everyone putting on a fantastic show tonight. We had the nice smooth driving of Group A, and then the chaoticness of Group B, which was fantastic to watch and a mouthful to commentate. But thank you very much for coming along tonight, Hobbsy, again. And thanks again to Neil Alexander. I've been Justin Tate, and we're signing off. We'll see you all next week.